Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiat's here. It's Saturday morning, and Raptors lost a close game to the Sacramento Kings last night. They were down by at least 23 at the most in the middle of the game, and they came back and only lost by 5. Sacramento was playing a pretty perfect game last night. They had a couple of players that just couldn't miss from three. I mean, they didn't just have one guy who was not missing from three. They had like three guys that just could not miss from three. And it was Trey Lyles, Malik Monk, and Keegan Murray. Just a real problem. And then you add in the excellence and the domineering in the inside of Domantas Sabonis. And you got a good formula for winning, Sacramento Kings style. And I have to say, like, honestly, I feel like the Kings played one of their best games the entire year last night. And for a lot of reasons, the old Raptors or a different Raptors team would have been blown out and just rolled right over by the end of this game. So I'm actually super impressed with what happened last night, even though they lost. You know, they shouldn't have even had a chance to come back and win that game the way that they were getting blown out, and the just how good Sacramento played last night. So this is a weird one. They lost. I'm sad about that. That's annoying. But in some ways, we can hold our head up with this one because, man, we hung with them. We scored a lot of points in the last three quarters to get up there with them. And man, this is a difficult one to kind of figure out in some ways about whether I should be that mad or not. I don't think I'm that mad. I don't think most people should be that mad about the Raptors losing last night. We're gonna lose sometimes. We just got to be able to, do quality things in a loss. You know, we have a lot of excuses for why we lost last night. We just had this team less than a week together. And God forbid these guys don't know how to play exactly right at the end of the games with their offense to get it exactly right. Oh my gosh, let's let them be human beings. You know, there is a bit of a work in progress with a basketball team. And, the progress has really jumped up just since last Saturday's loss against the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to remind y'all, it hasn't even been a week since they lost to the Pistons and broke their streak. And now we're losing to the Kings by 5 last night in a high-octane offensive game that, the old edition would not have been able to hang with. Seriously. So there's a lot here to figure out. And once again, it was just a week ago we lost to the Pistons, just so y'all know. It's just a week ago that we made this trade. All right, let's get in the comments right away. Let's just do a normal stream today. I don't want to go very long. We'll just have fun. We'll talk about the game and see what you guys have to say about it. Dana's here first. Canadian Dana say, good morning, everyone. I couldn't watch the game. I had a massive cavity filled, and I was in so much pain afterwards anyway. On to the next one. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, Dana, it's worth watching still if you do want to go back and watch it. But if you don't, that's fine too. There was some fun stuff in there. There was definitely some stuff that I'm very excited about that I saw in the game last night. And, there's obviously things they could get better about their offense. I felt like part of the problems that they had last night was shot selection. I felt like the shot selection wasn't so good at times with this team last night, whether they were overpassing, whether they were taking ill-advised threes, whether they were, just not really using their head. And maybe there was a better shot nearby. There's some different stuff with our offense I would definitely clean up and do better. Now, on the plus side, I saw some amazing chemistry between RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes last night. I saw them working off each other a couple times. I saw RJ have court vision and saw Scott over in the corner away from him, and he launched the ball over to him. Scott nailed a three. So there's some really interesting stuff to mine in the relationship of RJ and Scotty coming up because, RJ is going to be looking out for Scott and vice versa. And there was definitely some synergy growing between those two guys last night with the way they were playing off of each other on the court last night. So there's a lot of good developments. Let's just put it that way. Nako's here. Good to see Nako the Nacho. No way the Kings shoot that well on a regular basis. Thank you, Jonte, Boucher, and Dennis. Yeah, Jonte Porter. coming in and playing some major minutes. He was horrible in the first half. Did not look good. In fact, it was like, some people in our chat were like, yeah, what is this guy? Why we have him playing, this G League guy? And in the second half, well, he came through and he showed that he does belong in the NBA, that he did do a whole bunch of really impressive things, hitting a couple threes and playing good defense and rebounding and just playing solid all around. Jonte Porter looked fantastic last night by the end of the game. Chris Boucher, absolutely fantastic last night, busting his ass all over the place. And Dennis, very underrated and very solid as well. Some people will be upset with Dennis because once again, they may think, oh, Dennis is doing too much. But that aggression, like when he gets that quick first step on the defender and he can go, that's easy points. He should go take that. When he gets around him and he goes up and he does that little flip in lay in, that's amazing. That's good points for us. That is good points for us. We need him to do that. So anybody who's having problems with Dennis taking field goal attempts, just shut up. Everybody on this team should be allowed to shoot, and they'll shoot to different degrees. It's not like Dennis overshot last night. Seriously, he got 11 shots, and he got the same. He did get the same amount of shots as Siakam, but in some ways, I don't know what was going on with Siakam. He wasn't making himself a target as much last night as maybe he should have been. Maybe he should have been more of a target. Trevor J's here. Good morning, Raptors family. We fight back in the fourth quarter. The new guys are playing very good without a full practice. I love what I see. It will be better from here. Yeah, I agree with this. This is great. Tomorrow, we're playing the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors have a little bit of tumultuousness to them right now. Draymond Green, of course, with his weird indefinite suspension is a distraction, and they're not winning. Kuminga publicly calling out Steve Kerr this week for benching him for the end of the game the other night. And that's having ripple effect waves right now around the Warriors. So tomorrow we'll have the preview. I'll have you all set up for Golden State as far as injuries and also the current state of affairs with their team and where they're at with how they're feeling about things. Let's see. Trevor's words of wisdom. Be thankful that your eyes are open today. Be thankful that you can still talk. Be thankful that you can still walk. Most of all, be thankful that you are alive because many did not make it today. Yeah, that's one that we get to every once in a while with Trevor. Is just be thankful to be alive. Just be thankful that you woke up and your eyes opened up this morning. And yeah, you still have life. Oh my gosh, Trevor. That's in some ways, that's just like the grimmest of reminding for thankfulness, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Trevor's saying Kings made 21 threes and still almost lost the game. They win this game by hitting a lot of threes. Yeah, that's totally true. Let me look at the team stats because the team stats may be the most interesting thing about this game last night because it was like on steroids. 135 to 130 game. That's high scoring. The Raptors did not look like they couldn't hang with the scoring, though. It's amazing. Now, the thing is, Sacramento jumped out on us, and they had a really good first quarter. 36 points in the first quarter, and then 41 in the second quarter. And at halftime, they were winning 77 to 57. So there was a 20-point lead at halftime built in the first half. Now, in the second half, we took over, and we outscored them by 15 points, but we were losing by 20. So there was 5 still. They got more shots on goal than us. 100 field goal attempts for the Kings last night. They shot 52%. That's fantastic shooting. Well, guess what, y'all? We shot better than them. We shot 54% last night. That was fantastic. They got 8 more 3-pointers than us. That 8 times 3 is 24. So they're outscoring us by 24 points at the 3, shooting 55% from 3. They shot better from the 3-point line than they did from their regular field goal attempts. So they were slumming it in the lane, and everything that was good was on the outside. We shot 13 of 37, 35%. That's not a horrible number for us this year. That's actually not bad, but it's not 55% from 3 like they did. The place where we made up stuff was at the free throw line. The refs were very kind to us. Ref Report is undefeated still. It just absolutely was right. Curtis Blair was fantastic to us last night. Some people may be mad at the refs for certain things last night, but overwhelmingly, the ref crew was very good to the Raptors guys, and it's seen in the free throw attempts. 27 free throw attempts for us and only 15 for them. We shot 85% at the free throw line. They shot 67%. That's a big difference right there in making it up for us. It was getting to the line and making the free throws. I was very proud of our guys shooting very well at the free throw line last night. Now, this is an area where we might have won the game if we'd done better. The rebounds. They out-rebounded us, and specifically Sabonis was a monster down there. He was killing us on the offensive boards. We weren't controlling him, and he was just a major problem in all kinds of ways last night. We let him be the bull in the china shop that we did not need to let him be, and they out-rebounded us a +5. If we won that rebound battle, I bet you we would have won the game last night, y'all. I'm going to say that right now. Darko got to his 30 assist mark, but the Kings got 35. The blocks were amazing by the Raptors last night. In particular, Jakob Poeltl once again, just absolutely crazy. And so was Scott. Scott had that one late block on DeMattis that was just one of those overpowering winning plays at the end. And I love seeing that kind of stuff from Scott. That's the two-way player in him that can dominate on either side of the court. So, yeah, really cool stuff there. The turnovers were okay. They were pretty even. Points in the paint, we actually won by the end of the game. We were not winning that category most of the game, but by the end of the game, we did overtake them. Yeah, it's crazy. We only had a 1-point lead, and they had a 23-point lead at one point. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when a team is shooting so scorching hot? What are you going to do when Domantas Sabonis is just like a beast in the lane? What do you do with that? What do you do with that, Raptors? Well, do you roll over and let them beat you by 20 points by the end of the game? No, you don't. You fight and you fight and you claw and you finally get back and you have your chance to win the game. They could have won it. There were a couple of things they could have executed offensively at the end of the game better, and they could have gotten out of there with the W. They were real close. They were right there. It was right there for them to grab it. But this team's still learning how to play with each other to an extent, and we have to allow for, not exact perfection. That they're not going to be exactly right. Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's see. Dana's saying, why is this live set to January 7th? I don't know. I think I screwed up. Oh, crap. It's January 6th. You know what? I think that when I put it together last night, it was pretty late, and I may have just messed up. But I'm on now. It's live right now. But yeah, January 6th. It's January 6th, y'all. Oh, a day of infamy. Yeah, very much a day of infamy. Maybe that's why. Maybe I don't like the date January 6th anymore, Dana. And I just said, let's put it on January the 7th. You know what it is, Dana? It's the game got done after midnight, and I always put it the day after the day it is, and I just didn't think about it. So I put in January 7th because it was already the 6th. That's probably what it is. Kevin's here. Good to see Kevin Thompson. Great Raptor freak. Been steady in the chat lately. I love seeing you, Kevin, all the time. Tough loss, but we will get better as the team gets more time together. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you expect? This Quickley and RJ Barrett just got their new open gym episode last night. We saw them touching down in Canada. They just showed back up. RJ teaching Quickley about Canada and Timbits and things like that. They're talking about Osmos on the ride in. He's like, yeah, you need to go to Osmos, man. He's like, what is that? He's like, it's a Mediterranean restaurant. He's like, oh, Mediterranean. He's like, yeah. And the lady in the back goes, isn't that a shawarma place? Open gym. Great episode. Fantastic episode. Maybe too short, but whatever. You guys got some really cool stuff in there with the arrival of Quickley. They literally got the moments that OG, Pash Precious, and Malachi jumped in the car to leave our team. They literally went out there. And thank God Open Gym did the OG Anunoby episode this season. They had not done an OG Anunoby episode until this season. And, well, it's probably because they knew he's on his way out. They're like, man, we all know OG's probably going to be gone soon. I mean, he is CAA. Maybe we should do that episode on him finally. Yeah, it has been like 7 years. Why the hell have we not done an OG episode so far? Well, he hates us and he doesn't want to talk to us. That's why. Oh, yeah, that's why. I remember now. But Open Gym, thank you. Thank you for a good episode yesterday. Jimmy Pope's here. Good to see original Jimmy Pope. Jimmy, I came in there and unbanned your original account. There's also a couple other people that I banned from this channel that I let back come back in. There were people that were acrimonious at points where, you know, we actually get along with them. We like them. People like Shaq Lindsay and Top of Top. You know, even Alan Tam, Bam's son. You guys are awesome. I put y'all on suspension for a little bit, but you guys are opened up to come back if you do. Just so y'all know, if y'all see Top of Top in this chat again, just realize that I'm a very benevolent person, and I say, you know what, these guys were okay. It's just I got mad at them one day, and let's see how they are with the trade now. So if they come back in here, you'll see it. But that's when I was in there unbanning Jimmy. I was like looking at the names, and one of y'all did ban Milbester. Like, why did you do that? Don't ban our New York Knicks fan just because he's talking too much about the Knicks. No, Milbester should not be banned from this channel, y'all. Whoever banned Milbester, that's not right. I unbanned him, just so you know. All right, let's see. Jimmy's saying if we had a minute or two more, we would have won that game 100%. Good effort, though. Well, we got to time that plane to the runway we got. And if that runway needs to be a couple feet longer and it's not in the lake, you know, that's good. You know, oh, man. Yeah, I mean, we can say that, Jimmy, but, you know, there was a lot of time in the fourth, and they were within striking distance at a certain point. Part of the problem was the Kings continued to pour it on. You know, we had fantastic defense in the fourth quarter, I thought. I thought that our defense was very solid in the fourth quarter. But in some ways, the Kings were still getting open threes and doing crazy stuff to keep their lead going. And that made it really, really hard to come all the way back, is that they were still adding to that mark that we had to keep catching up to. And it just wasn't happening. But, you know, we gave it a valiant effort. And I felt like I'm holding my head up with pride. I mean, I'm not wearing a lot of purple today, am I? No, I'm not. I'm not because I'm not that upset about this loss. I'm really not. Chris is here. MSJ. Kings look to have just caught fire in the first half. Hard team to beat when they play and shoot so hot. But two things I hate: this pizza dinner idea and the fake comeback idea. Both dumb. All right. You know, they were close. They almost got their Darko dinner. Very, very close. It is what it is. It's just going to be something. Darko's trying to get the 3 wins out of them. Now, I said at New Year's that if we win 3 out of 5 games, every 5 games going forward, we'll be all right. So now we've won 2 this year, and we're 2-1 in 2024. So these next 2 games against the Warriors and the Lakers, we need to win one of them, and we'll keep to the pattern. So we can lose one of the 2 games. I'd like to win both of them. Don't get me wrong. I want to beat the Warriors tomorrow and the Lakers on Tuesday. But if we hold the pattern of winning at least one of them, we'll win 3 out of 5, and we'll be on our way still to 42 wins. So it really is. I'm parsing out the rest of the season, the 50 games after New Year's, as 5-game parcels. And if we get 3 out of the 5 every single time for 10 times in a row, we will have 42 wins, and we will be a better team than last year record-wise, and probably somewhere in the play-in, if not in the playoffs. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah. You know what? Listen. All right. Let's look at the Kings team real quick, because in some ways I don't want to talk about our stars first. We got to talk about what they did on the other side, because it was phenomenal. Honestly, this team had amazing stars. First, Sabonis, triple-double last night. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, 11 of 16 from the field. That's just nasty. Now, he did have 6 turnovers. You know, he had a line they showed in the game last night where he got 22 points, 22 rebounds, and 12 assists. And that's a line that, like, people from way back did and not very many people recently did. Yeah, Sabonis was a force. And maybe we missed OG a little bit in the whole thing with him. I don't know. But in some ways, that was annoying. Now, I'm going to talk about 3 guys that were absolutely insane from the 3-point line. It was actually Harrison Barnes, not Monk. It was Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Trey Lyles. You add these guys up, and they're 13 of 17 from the 3-point line. They shot 13 of 17 from the 3-point line. That's like what Jokic shoots from the field for the whole game, 13 of 17. They only missed 4 threes and made 13. What the hell are you supposed to do with that? Keegan Murray, 4 for 4. Harrison Barnes, 5 of 8. Trey Lyles, 4 of 5. That's just nasty. And then you got other guys making threes on top of that. There's still way more threes made by different people like Malik Monk and Chris Duarte. Yeah, just nasty. De'Aaron Fox didn't hit a lot of threes, but he got 24 points, 10 of 20 shooting. He was electric. He was doing a lot of like really inside the lane kind of stuff, hurting us. So they were hurting us on different levels. And it really was a good team effort by them all around. They were playing very top notch. So I can't hate on them. I can't hate on them. Then there was the stupid guy sitting behind our broadcast crew yelling, "Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby." And it seemed like at one point, Alvin Williams wanted to turn around, bitch slap that man. He's like, Matt, normally when I'm a player, I don't really pay attention to the crowd. I don't hear them at all. Most of the time, most of these players would tell you the same thing. They're on the road. They're just playing. They're in the game. But I'm going to tell you right now, this guy who's sitting behind me, I want to slap the shit out of him. It's like, Alvin, wait, really? Really? Is somebody being loud behind us? I can't hear him. Matt, you can't hear that idiot behind us yelling in my ear? Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I thought it was hilarious. The guy was annoying and it was kind of funny. And then when Matt Devlin started making fun of him, that was funny. That was whole funny. Like, Alvin, I love you, bro. And I get it. I get it. That guy was annoying. That guy was very annoying. And I wouldn't listen. If you had turned around and said something to him like you would say to Randy Urban on a Raptors Tonight broadcast, I would have been all about it. Yeah. Could you give him some of that Randy attitude that you do on that show to a homeboy behind you saying, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Who is that? Austin Powers sitting behind you in Sacramento last night? Oh, my gosh. That guy would not shut up. That guy would not shut up. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Lucky is back. Lucky shit. My new favorite Raptors talk. You like this? Hey, I love that. Lucky shit. Lucky shit. Yeah, no, we're a little weird here. We were a little weird. You know, I got my little Beaver son, Justin Beaver. This is Justin Beaver, my co-host. He gets sunned all the time. Like, he's my son. He's my Beaver son. So I'm gonna say, hey, Justin, you know my son? He's my son, y'all. Did y'all know that? Yeah, yeah. All right, now get off the screen. This is my interview. You're not supposed to be here. Your son, get out of here. All right, yeah, that's Justin Beaver. Yeah, it's stupid. But that's part of what makes me me. And there you go, Lucky. I'm glad you found it, man. I'm glad you found it. Jimmy's saying, I'm back, baby. Woo! That's right. The real Jimmy Pope, the real Pope of positivity, the original Jimmy Pope. That's right. That's right. This is the right way Jimmy should be in here. Gee, I know you didn't mean to do that when you drop your phone. Sometimes this happens with mods. They drop their phones. It's like you pocket dial somebody. Sometimes you ban someone from a YouTube live stream. It's just what happens sometimes. Jimmy, I'm glad you're back correctly. Nako's saying that Trey Lyles, I'm pretty sure, is Canadian. Yes, he is. He is Canadian. So is Duarte. Some key Canadians on the Kings. So that's cool. We played well. I just feel we were a wee bit salty. We were salty? I don't know. Were we salty? What does that mean, Nako? What do you mean we were salty? Like, were we like mad? Like, what does that mean when you say salty? Like, were we flavored salty because we were sweaty? I don't know. In some ways, I don't know how to take this right now. Yeah, Trey Lyles was fantastic. He got hurt at one point. It looked like laying on the ground. It was weird. He stepped on his own foot, and it was very like Keystone Cops. Is like De'Aaron Fox falls down and causes a wet spot. Like seconds before Trey Lyles runs over that spot and he steps on his own foot and sideways, and then he's on the ground holding himself. And I'm like, holy crap, that sucks. Like, man, I felt bad for him, but he couldn't miss. He was annoying. That man couldn't miss. Oh my gosh, he couldn't miss. Y'all are all about getting more Canadians on the Raptors now, aren't you? You've seen RJ come and show up. You've seen the open gym yesterday, and you're like, man, let's get more Canadians on the team. You're all about it. You're scouting these guys like Chris Duarte and Trey Lyles, and you're like, man, we could get more Canadians on this team. I don't know. I'm going to project and predict something for the future right now for the NBA. And it's really about this thing I just seen on Facebook. Let me read this real quick. It's really interesting. Oh, where'd it go? Damn it. I hate when Facebook does this. It refreshes it. Well, it's gone. But basically, it's talking about CAA in New York and all the comings and goings. RJ Barrett was CAA in New York, but he switched this season, and it signified him leaving and like coming here. Well, Julius Randle has switched from CAA recently too. So a lot of the New York fans are saying, well, Julius is probably not going to be here. And then they're going to look and see whoever is in the league, around the league, the CAA. And they're saying, Karl Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell. Who else is CAA? Tom Thibodeau. Okay, Jalen Brunson, CAA. It's really becoming tribal. It's kind of a weird shit. Like in some ways, it's like if you go and be CAA like OG did, you're likely to end up on the Knicks at this point. Like, is this going to be some sort of weird NBA where the NBA is convoluted and they kind of funnel people to certain places because of tribalism? Like, are you going to declare my organization is CAA and they represent me and out? You're going to be a Knick. You're going to be a Knick. Well, if it's going to be like that, I want the Masai and Toronto Raptors to get dibs on Canadian players. Yeah. Yeah, NBA. If you're going to be all weird and stuff like that, if there's going to be free flowing every which way and teams are going to be built around weird tribalistic or mobster kind of things by agencies, well, I want the Canadian team to have Canadians on it. Yeah, I want you to funnel a whole bunch of good Canadian talent to the Raptors and put them on this team. If y'all going to let CAA start their own little team in New York right now, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to get the best Canadians in the league and have them on the Raptors. Yeah, why not? Y'all going to go all tribal with the CAA is going to just take over the Knicks and everybody who's CAA is coming to the Knicks now. Well, these guys that are born in Canada, we want them to come back to Canada and play for the Raptors. I don't know. Could this evolve into this more over the years to come? That there's more of this kind of weird agency tribalism for teams? Is Clutch going to be running the Lakers and CAA is going to be running the Knicks? I don't know. This is a weird situation. In some ways, it's with the betting and everything else. It just makes everything feel so planned and so cheated and so weird. Well, how's this going to work with free agency now that we know OG is going to be with New York? We know he is. As soon as he signs on the dotted line with CAA, he's going to the Knicks. He's going to the Knicks. So you better watch your free agents and who your agencies are for your players, NBA teams. If they get CAA, they're probably going to try and go to the Knicks. They're probably going to try and go to the Knicks. Now, listen, I'll say this. I also learned today that Woj is with CAA. So anything that he says about CAA, well, he's not lying because he's in their organization. He's represented by them himself. There you go. There you go. The more you know. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Jimmy's saying they hit like 8 threes in a row. It felt like they did. They didn't miss no threes. They shot better from 3 than from 2. Let's just put it that way. They shot better from 3 than 2. What are you going to do about that? They're lighting the beam. They light that 3-point beam. Beam, beam, beam. Nako saying, compared to when OG was on the team, I do feel generally more invested. You feel more invested in the team right now? Well, because we look more capable. In some ways, like our offense doesn't look like it's a disaster waiting to happen. It's more like, let's see the permutations and the way this works. In some ways, these guys are working the ball around and they're really kind of trying each other's like strengths. And whoever gets that moment to get that shot is taking it. Whether it's like Scotty from his strengths, Quickley from his strengths, RJ from his strengths, Siakam from his strengths. That's how it's kind of working right now. And they really work it around. Like there's a couple plays they're doing where they what they do is they send Barnes through the lane or somebody with the ball and he kind of clears out the lane and then they circle back and they give the ball to Siakam and Siakam goes right through the lane who's already kind of been plowed through by one of the other guys. Maybe it's RJ. And he comes in and he has an easy layup. This is a great play that the Raptors were utilizing last night. It's kind of like go through the lane and kind of flush it out and then circle around and get Siakam to come through the lane the second time. And boom, he can work right through there because usually guys have been cleared out and they're going to chase like Barnes on his way around. And boom, Siakam's got no double team coming at him. He has to beat one guy one-on-one and boom, he can. He can. So there's a lot of interesting things happening with our offense right now, and they really can fine-tune it and do better. And the other thing I really love about this edition of the Raptors is they're capable to listen to their coach and execute the plan to what he wants. In fact, there's once again a moment in the game last night where I see RJ and Darko discussing things in the middle of the game, and I can just imagine what they're talking about. And then once again, Darko's smiling when he talks to him because I can tell he's like really impressed with RJ as far as his acumen. And when they're talking to each other, he's like, well, what do you think? And Darko says, well, this is what I want to do. And RJ's like, you know what? I was thinking the same thing, coach. And then coach is like, you know what, RJ, I like you. Pat you on the back. That kind of shit going on with that. as far as things. I don't know. It's very interesting. These guys, like people have said in the chat, they barely gotten a full practice with our team. What do you expect them to do? Be perfect? And Sacramento's been playing together as a unit for how many years now? And these guys just showed up not even a week together. There's a learning curve for our offense to learn to work together. This has a really high ceiling. And this is where we're at the bottom, losing by 5 against a high-octane Kings team. Yeah, you can't be that upset about this game last night. You can't. Because once they execute, they do things a certain way. Well, they just showed they could probably beat the Kings on their best day if they are getting their shit together and they've been together a little longer. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. I don't know what the ceiling is on this team. I'm talking to a friend of mine who's a Knicks fan on Facebook, and he's laughing at me. He's like, you think y'all can win the championship now? It's like, I don't know. Anything's possible. 2019 taught me to believe that anything is possible. Anything is possible. You never know. Yeah. Let's see. Jimmy's saying, I would have liked to see a more organized last shot at the end. Yeah, the whole couple of minutes at the end could have been a little bit more executed better. There could have been better shot selections. I mean, that Quickley shot was a little ridiculous. They had more time, and he was really far out, and he could have came in a little closer. The decisions to go for a 3 instead of a 2, like what they were saying in the broadcast booth. I get that, but in some ways I like that they were shooting the 3 to tie and not trying to go for the quick 2 and then trying to score again after that. There's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda we could do with the end of the game, but there's no reason to. It is what it is. They could have executed better and would have won. Yes, that is definitely true. That is definitely true. Troy saying, I'm not mad about the loss, even though I couldn't sleep. The game was just replaying over and over in my head how things could have happened differently. Welcome to the player's world, Troy Henry. What you just said is probably something that goes on in Scotty's head after games all the time. He's like, oh, man, if I just done this better with this. And that's the reason why he goes and gets anime defensive rebounds. That's the reason why he goes and blocks Domantas Sabonis on a big block near the end of the game, because he's visualizing all the ways he could have helped in the last game that he didn't do. And now in the next game, he's going to do it. So, yeah, it is what it is, Troy. That's what the players deal with every single time they play. Every single time, even when they win. They're thinking through the game all night long. It's hard to sleep. Kevin's saying a lot of Pascal trade rumors yesterday. I thought he was getting traded to Sacramento. Yeah, that bullshit. That's such bullshit. I'm going to debunk some shit right now. Seriously. I'm so sick of this shit. Aren't we used to this? This has been like 3 or 4 years we've heard Pascal and OG trade talks. Well, there was always smoke, but there was never really fire. Jake Fisher, all these dumbasses reporting out their ass, shams, stupid shit. And I'll say you why. It's because we don't leak. We do not leak as an organization. Every time they put a rumor out about the Raptors and their dealings is bullshit. It's not coming from us. So I don't believe it. It could be coming some bullshit with the Kings trying to leverage talks with us and all that. That's bullshit. I will not believe anything until I actually see it. And I do not believe that, let's put it this way. I've said this before, and I really do truly believe the front office is intelligent and that they think the same way that I do on this, is you just made a big, huge move. It's positive so far, the changes. In some ways, why do you want to make a second big, huge move without discovering this addition of the team? In some ways, you've got to let these guys play together for a while and see if Siakam is still a good part of the mix. It's ridiculous how everybody expects us to do 2 really quick, huge moves right in a row. It just doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Like, why would Masai and Bobby do that? They're like, oh, the team. It's like, all right, we're going to overcorrect and really fuck our team up? Or are we in the sweet spot right now where the team should be where it is? Well, that's the thing. They got to sit on it. They got to sit on it right now and see how it is with Siakam still in the mix. Everybody's so quick to want him out. Some of these idiots from other teams, people that hate him being on the Raptors. That's really most of it. And then some people that are just aggregate stupid people from last year who wanted Fred out and they wanted Siakam out last year and they just want to finish the job now. It's all bullshit. This is what I said to Jillian yesterday because she was really upset about it because she kept hearing the rumors. It's imminent with Sacramento. There's going to be a deal. And then at some point during the day, Shams came out and said, well, the talks are off. Sacramento is no longer talking to the Raptors about dealing to get Siakam on their team. I knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere. I'm going to tell people once again that people may be trying to portray the front office as disrespecting Siakam. People may try and portray the front office as like not valuing Siakam. But if you really like, once again, I'll say, don't, actions speak louder than words. First of all, we know the front office doesn't really give us words. They're shutting up. They're doing their job behind closed doors. They don't like leaks, and there's no words to hear anyway. So why don't we look at their actions? How about that instead? And let's really be smart about this, Windhurst style, logically. First of all, why the hell would the Raptors re-sign and come back and bring Jakob back if they weren't considering keeping Siakam long-term? Jakob is on a 4-year contract for $80 million. And, he's best friends with Siakam. And they are a pair. They're a pair. Why would that's a signifier right there. Like, Siakam, we want you to be happy because you can have one of your best friends next to you on the team. Okay, there's one. Okay, here's another one. Last year, we drafted a center, or 2 years ago, I guess. We drafted a center from the same hometown as Siakam, Koloko. Why the hell would we bring in another Cameroonian guy to have with Siakam if it wasn't to make him feel more happy and make Koloko have an easier time coming into the league? Why the hell would, that's something that matters too, just so y'all know. Thirdly, why the hell would we have Siakam's brother as a coach for our 905 G League team? Like, seriously, if Siakam's on his way out so bad, wouldn't it be messy to trade him and his brother sitting on the bench with Eric Curry? Like, that's kind of seems like Team Canada, Nick Nurse kind of shit from this summer. I think that's a signifier that there's some roots in this organization with the Siakam family. If Siakam's brother is a coach in our G League team, and then thirdly, lastly, the fourth wing is, and this is maybe the most important one, Mama Siakam. Yeah. She loves that brownstone mansion that they live in and over on St. Clair West. And, they have a very nice life here and they're set up. They have a very good thing going on here. And in some ways disrupting that, it's in Siakam's best interest to make mom happy. Why would he want to uproot his whole family and take them out of here, just like Fred just did? Well, the money better be right. That's what I'm saying, if he's going to go through that process. But I'm just saying, y'all need to understand the roots of Siakam in Toronto are very deep. And it may not look like that to the casual fan, but there are things about what we've done as an organization around Siakam that shows that we covet him and that we do want him around. And I just named them. So, I mean, people can think whatever they want. And it's just because, the contracts won't line up, or this is going to, what happens if he leaves in the offseason anyway? Did you hear what I just said? Why wouldn't he be loyal to us when we've done things like what I just said? So I'm just saying, anyway, I feel like the Siakam stuff is ridiculous. It's ridiculous at this point. And sure, there's smoke, but there ain't no fire. And I don't believe any of it. I don't think the front office is so dumb to make a move so close to a huge move like last week. This is really not going to happen. If Siakam's going to move, it's going to be happening very close to the deadline, if not in the offseason. It's not going to be for the rest of this year, probably. And I don't think it will happen, honestly, because he's working so well with us. He's playing such a high level. And we know Bobby and Masai value keeping our projects, our guys we invest in, and keeping them here. And I'm going to tell you right now, any investment in Siakam at whatever contract level is not a bad investment. This man works so hard, and he adds up to a lot of good things on the court. So Chris is saying that is true, Lex. We scored points, but I have watched the Kings a bit. In some games, they just go off and shoot so well. You have to jump on them defensively early or else. Old team, lost by 35. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You just kind of take care of business and try and hang with them. I think the important thing to me was we didn't have the offensive firepower at this time last week until these guys showed up to be able to handle a game like this and even keep up with them. So that's what I would say. Space Cadet saying Pat Bev obsessed with the Raptors. Yeah, he's an idiot. I feel like this is partly being put up by Nick, that Nick has some saltiness towards us because we had the audacity to fire him, even though he called us on our bluff. And in some ways, he has no problem with Patrick Beverly doing this bullshit. In some ways, it's extracurricular psyops. This is what he said, basically. He said he thinks both teams won the trade, between the Knicks and the Raptors. It's a win-win for both teams. And he said, well, did they have any dogs on the Raptors now? And he said, no, they have pups. He's saying that he's calling Quickley and RJ pups. Motherfucker. Patrick Beverly, what have you done with your career, bro? What have you accomplished? What is your stats? What are you as a player and your hierarchy of things? You couldn't sniff the jock strap of IQ or RJ in your whole entire career. So whatever, man. You can go and say whatever you fucking want. But he's a bullshit artist either way. And if you really want the truth about Patrick Beverly, go look in his comment sections when he makes outlandish statements or stupid shit like that. Go see what the people think. They'll tell him exactly his place in the whole hierarchy of the NBA. It's hilarious, actually. You can go look at Patrick Beverly when he says bullshit like that, and the fans just skewer him down below in the comment section. It's actually very entertaining. So, yeah, if you see Patrick Beverly talking out of pocket, just go look at the comment section, and it'll balance things real nice. Reality will be there and say, yeah, you celebrated a play-in win like it was a championship, motherfucker. Yeah. And what have you done otherwise? You ain't done shit. You ain't done shit. That's right, Patrick Beverly. Jimmy Pope saying we got to do a better job getting the ball in our best players' hands at the end of the game. I agree. All right, let's look at the stats, and we'll talk about the stars of the game. Yeah, Siakam only taking 11 shots last night is a travesty. And people that are talking about that, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Yes, I completely agree. All right, my 3 stars of the game. Number 1 star is Pirtle. Pirtle's been on a tear lately. Once again, Pirtle is just like, I don't know, man. There's things about Pirtle right now that are just so amazing right now. 7 of 10 from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 14 points, and he was the highest plus minus on our team. Him and Schroder tied plus 12. And I'm really looking at that stat from last night, because there was a lot of times on the court where we were in trouble and, we were getting outscored, but it wasn't when Pirtle was out there. So I like this. I'm giving Pirtle the number 1 star, partly because he played really well in the last game and I didn't give him any shine. But this game, he's continued his very high energy work. He's really busting his ass. It's not always pretty, but the stuff that Jakob is doing out there defensively, rim protection and things like that is just so important. He fouled out last night, by the way, guys. My 2nd star of the game is Schroder. And people may disagree with my 2 stars of the game, but listen, it's my channel. Schroder is 32 minutes, 18 points, plus 12, 7 of 11 from the field. I wish Schroder had made one of his threes, but oh well. 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Still no turnovers. Dennis continues to have 0 turnovers in 2024. And he's just a solid backup point guard. Once again, all the moves he's making to go into the lane and make quick shots like that, that's carrying water. And if you're going to try and keep up with the Kings scoring wise, you're going to need Dennis Schroder to contribute what he's going to do. In fact, we had 8 Raptors in double figures last night. That is a really fantastic number of Raptors all scoring double digits. We need that kind of output against high octane Western Conference teams like the Kings. The 3rd star is Siakam, and he should have shot more, honestly. 6 of 11 from the field, 6 of 7 from free throw line, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Wow. 2 steals, 1 block, 18 points. Now, part of the reason why I picked those 3 guys is because they were 3 of the pluses on our team. A lot of the other guys were all minuses or in trouble. Like Scotty himself was a minus 23. Scotty, once again, showing that he has the worst plus minus on the team, which is similar to like a month and a half ago where we were losing a lot. And I would look at the stat sheet and I'd be like, wow, Scotty has such a low plus minus. What's going on there? Something's not exactly right there. So, yeah, but I thought Scott was really good in some ways, other than that plus minus and the 5 turnovers he had. He did have some turnovers last night, which was too bad. 8 of 15 of 8 from 3, which was fantastic. The threes were really confident. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 5 turnovers, 20 points in 35 minutes. Yeah. It's just, in some ways I wanted to give him a star, but I saw that minus 23 and the 5 turnovers. And I'm like, yeah, something about Scott's game last night just wasn't exactly right. Quickley was very active and he did score quite a bit. He shot a lot. He shot the most shots out of all the Raptors. And in some ways I didn't totally like that. 6 of 17, 4 of 12 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, 20 points and a minus 3. Yeah, Quickley, if he shot just a little bit better, Maybe if we'd won the game, I would have made him as one of the stars for sure. RJ wasn't bad. He just wasn't, he didn't get to play at the end of the game, which was really weird. I don't totally agree with that. That Darko did not put him back in for the last couple minutes at the end of the game. In some ways, I would have liked RJ, the fresh minutes, to come in and try and close it out, because he had the luxury, the Raptors did, of building, coming back and getting real close to them with the shortening the lead for the Kings. And they had Scotty and RJ on the bench for most of the fourth quarter. And I was saying to myself and in the chat, well, this is great. We got Scotty and Barrett fresh for the last run, and maybe they can come in and really add that cherry on top to get us over, because we have so much good talent around our team. We don't even have to put RJ in at the end of the game, which is kind of crazy. But I wish they had. I wish Darko had played RJ in the last 5 minutes more, because he really didn't put him in, and that's too bad. He sat on the bench for some reason. 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 14 points, and he was a minus 19. So he was the second culprit behind Barnes with the worst plus minus. But yeah, I still have questions. Why was RJ not played more at the end of the trip? For Chris has been a redemption tour so far. He got the most minutes he's had all season, 28 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 3 of 5 from free throw line, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Yeah, Chris was fine. In fact, he was a lot of good energy and did a whole bunch of good stuff for us off the bench. And then let's talk about Jonte. Like I said, it's tale of two halves for Jonte Porter. The first half, he did not look good. He was missing assignments. He was getting beat. He was missing shots. But then in the second half, boy, did he kind of do a whole bunch of really good stuff to help Key are coming back and shrinking the lead down more and more. Jonte was right in the middle of all that, really shrinking the lead in the 13 minutes, 10 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. It was really nice to see those 2 threes go down. And he kind of showed people, is like, look, can you get behind Jonte Porter being a Raptor fans? Do you see what he can do? You see what he can do. 3 rebounds, 1 block, 1 turnover, a -5. Yeah, Jonte was great. Jonte was great. We saw a hot cup of coffee for Jalen McDaniels. Not really out there for long in a lot of ways there. But yeah, that's how I see the team from last night. My 3 stars were Pirtle, Schroder, and Siakam. Yeah, I'm always going to be favoring some of these guys in certain ways. I mean, I know people are coming at Schroder in certain ways, and maybe I'm too much of a stand for him. But I just see what he's doing. And it's like Alvin was saying it last night, like Schroder is so good. The things like when he knew that we had a foul to give and he took that foul on that was so smart. Like that's higher level basketball. Because a lot of the players out there won't keep track of fouls like that. When Schroder took the extra foul and he knew that he could do that, that's just brilliance. And in some ways, that's the kind of intangibles and really smart play by Dennis Schroder that we should value. And people that really hate Dennis do not understand exactly what he's doing. It's just like with Jakob. Jakob has a bunch of X factors that he does that don't necessarily show up on the box score. And it's the same thing with Dennis. It's organizing the team. It's understanding pace. It's just leadership kind of stuff. Some of it. It's just know-how. It's veteran NBA. I've been in the league for 10 years kind of know-how. And it's something that is a really vital part of our team right now that people don't actually realize in some ways. Let's see. Wayne saying, good game to critique. Porter should be converted. Boucher deserves more time. And Dennis is a solid leader. Team cohesion next. We're heading in the correct direction. 23 3-pointers. Wow. Rare. Yeah, they were going to go for that record. They were starting to talk about Sacramento's 3-point record. And I was like, yeah, this is the kind of game that this is. It's like you're going to lose to the Kings when they're flirting with their record for 3-pointers made in a game. That may happen. It's no slouch. And losing to a team that was a playoff team last year, that's played at a high level for a couple of years now, has a coach of the year, has our Team Canada coach next to him on the bench. And yeah, they're a high team. And we only lose by 5. We were losing by 20 in the middle of the game and we came back. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. We just showed up. We've been together for a week. I'll take it. There's some progress to be made. Yeah, great comment, Wayne. I agree with all of this right here. Team cohesion next. Team cohesion next. G saying, how can they do a better job defending the 3? I don't even think that's what this is, G. Because this is what Chris said after the game in the press conference. He said, we were guarding them. We did not let them have open shots. They made really tough shots. They just did high-level NBA shit where there's just like, part of it is that their three-point shooters are tall. You know, Keegan Murray and Trey Lyles are both like 6'8", 6'9" guys, and that's hard to go out and guard. The shorter guys out on the three-point line, it's easier to go get them. But these taller guys, you got to stay close. You got to stay close. And when he makes those shots and they also, the announcer says Keegan and they all go Murray in the crowd, hilarious stuff. But yeah, it's partly because they're so tall. And Chris said they were not giving them open shots. They were making very hard contested threes. And what can you do about that? It's very difficult to stop a team if they're very good like that with the three-pointer. Yeah, Nako's saying, good old January the 6th, one of the best days ever. It's a day of infamy. And in some ways, this day should be memorialized and remembered just like September 11th as a dark-ass day in the history of the United States. And people that want to forget it, move past it, why are you bringing it up kind of shit? Yeah, you're probably part of the problem that happened that day. You may be actually on the FBI want list because you were found in a picture at that place. They sussed you out, and they're looking for you in Macon, Georgia, as you hide in the Swanee Swifty convenience store in the back in a disguise. Yeah, that guy who works in the deli that makes the 3-day-old hot dogs. He looks familiar to me. I thought I saw him on this site where they had him as a picture. He was at the Capitol on January the 6th. No, that's not Earl. Earl's fine. Don't mess with Earl. Yeah, I don't know, man. January 6th. Yeah, you can't live it down, United States. Insurrection. And y'all still haven't taken care of your garbage. Yeah, you haven't. This man's still trying to run for president and be the dictator of your country. And I don't understand how y'all have not dropped the hammer on him yet. Seriously, he's still going to try and run for president. The man can't even stand on a stage and debate nothing. He's scared of Nikki Haley because he knows if he gets on stage with her, she's going to run circles around him. And plus they all talk about Biden being too old for this job. You know that Trump is just as old as Biden. And in some ways, his mental capacities have gone more downhill than Biden. Yeah. Have you heard Trump talk recently? He sounds like a rambling old deranged madman. Yeah, he can't do debates because you get him on stage, he's going to sound stupid. I'm going to tell you that right now. And a lot of the stuff he's saying these days isn't even things that people agree with him anymore. He's just gone off the deep end. Anyway, we're talking about January 6th for a second. That's right. Good morning to Jillian. Good morning to you. Chris is saying we do need more backcourt. Coloco, I guess, one day. We need more backcourt. That's the guard. You mean the front court. We need more front court. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Coloco. Leave Clutch. Could you do that? Like if he leaves Clutch tomorrow and then all of a sudden he's able to play against the Lakers, won't you feel like Rich Paul was doing some bullshit? Like, I don't understand this. Is Coloco under ransom with Clutch or something? Is Gary on double secret probation ransom because of Clutch? Is this why Gary's just not playing up to snuff this year? Is this why Coloco has not even played this year? Is because they're Clutch? And this is a whole territorial thing like CAA and all the bullshit I was just talking about? Oh, Coloco can't play. He's Rich Paul's client. That's why. Oh, Gary can't shoot shots anymore. He's Rich Paul's client. Oh, okay. Okay. And Rich Paul's mad at y'all because you fired Nick last summer. Oh, really? So there's more to this? It's like, seriously, are these agencies going to start acting like gangs or something like that? Or mafia families? Like, what is this bullshit that's going on with the NBA at this time? With agencies and agents and all the collusion and the bullshit of CAA and Clutch. What the fuck is going on with this league at this point? Seriously, if it's not the betting, it'll be these crazy ass representation groups. Yeah, if it's not the betting. Let's see. Jimmy's saying Pascal's last field goal attempt was at 7 minutes in the fourth. That is absolutely unacceptable. What you just said. And it was a make. He didn't shoot the ball after that. That's a problem to me. That's a problem to me too, Jimmy. And thank you for that fact. Sending at me. Yeah, that's a problem for me too. I don't know if that's Emmanuel Quickley just doing too much. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Is Siakam hiding in the woodwork, doing the homer into the bush? What the hell happened here? Darko, could you tell them? It's like, look, this guy's all NBA. This dude's all NBA. Can you all give him the ball, please? He's a known commodity as far as like he can make shots. Why aren't y'all giving him more shots? Last shot he took was with 7 minutes to go in the game. That's horrible, Jimmy. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Well, hopefully that's something they're talking about this morning. That's something they're talking about in the video room. It's like, what? Why didn't Siakam shoot more to take us home? Step up, Siakam. And also, Darko, call the play for him and teammates. Get it to Siakam. Please, just do that. Chris is saying when a team is shooting that well, in my opinion, you have to turn it into fight mode. Yeah, and they were battling. They were battling. They were scrapping, they were battling, they never gave up. In some ways, it can be deflating to be down that much. And when you see a team just making shots like that, it can be overpowering. It can be kind of like, oh, well, we just can't do anything. I've been in blacktop pickup games myself, and the other team just starts bombing, and it's like your team will give up to a degree just because it's like, well, what's the point? These guys just aren't missing from three. What's the point? No, our team ain't like that. No, did they give up? Did they roll over and die? No, they didn't. They kept fighting. We're all the way up until the end, and they almost came back and won. And that's the kind of team I want to root for right there. Troy saying, I saw IQ reading the slang Wagwan. They told him it's Toronto slang, but hell no, I'm a born Jamaican, and that's our shit. Well, that's what it is. It's the Jamaican influence and the culture, or the really rich Toronto Jamaican culture. And that's what it is. That's what people were saying in the open gym premiere in the chat. There's like, oh, RJ sounds like Toronto man. They see him in the car. Well, he is Toronto man. Of course, he sounds like Toronto man. Don't you see his number 9 Canada Goose jacket? That's as Canadian as you can get. That man came and got a Canada Goose jacket with his number on it. And and they're talking about Tim Hortons and talking about this, Canada, that. And Quickley's really intrigued. He's like, what is a Timbit? He's like, it's like a donut hole. Like, I guess you would get at Dunkin' Donuts. She's like, oh, okay. And then you see him later with them. He's like, oh, I heard about these. RJ told me about these Timbits. Yeah, I'll try one. You know? Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting stuff. Yeah, I loved seeing the welcome and coming in. RJ says this. They're going into the OVO Center, and he's telling Emmanuel, he's like, when I was a kid and when I was younger, the snow would be up to here, but global warming. He's like telling him global warming is making it so there's no snow in Toronto in the winter. And he may be right. He may be exactly right. I think this is one of the mildest winters ever right now. I don't want to mess that up, so I'm knocking on wood. But yeah, the winters in Toronto are nothing at this point. In fact, it's going to get to the point where Toronto is like a moderate temperate climate. And everybody who worries about living in Canada because of snow and stuff like that, no, it's beautiful weather year round. You may get a little bit of really pretty snow from time to time, but you ain't living in no Manitoba Arctic tundra where there's like 3 feet of snow piled up on the side of the road. No, it's not like that in Toronto anymore. The winter here is very dealable with. And that's what RJ was saying in there. It's like, look, when I was a kid, the snow would be piled up and it'd be freezing ass cold. And Toronto would just be miserable, but not right now. We're really feeling the effects around this part of the Great Lakes with the warming that we just don't get that kind of winter anymore. Maybe they get it on the other side of the lake because all the lake water gets dumped on Buffalo, but it doesn't happen here. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, it's very interesting open gym. I love it. Jillian's saying at Chris, laugh out loud. It's not pizza. It's not a pizza party. It should be a high-class, fine dining, 5-course meal with very many waiters, all kinds of like style. Maybe there's a suit and tie requirement to be in this establishment. Maybe there's a maitre d'. You know, let's not make this Chuck E. Cheese pizza party. Come on, man. Come on, man, Darko. Don't cheap out on this. They're working so hard to get the 3 wins. They didn't get it last night. So when they finally do, you better give them something better than a pizza party. You give a pizza party to 5th graders. Yeah, you give a pizza party if you're a huge corporation and you hate your workers, and that's your Christmas gift for them. Here, guys, Merry Christmas. Here's your pizza party. Oh, thank you, Amazon. We just bust our ass all year for you, and you count every half second. You gave us a damn pizza party on some paper plates. Thank you. No, it better be better. It better be that 5-course meal with a maitre d' is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, Kevin's saying Knicks are 3-0. This was a good trade for both teams. Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. Looking pretty good. Pretty good so far for both teams. Jillian saying Sabonis was phenomenal. Yeah, he was. He got after it. He got after it. He really wanted to play hard and tough, and he did. He hasn't had the best games against us in recent years. We actually really would control him in certain ways. This was probably the best game I've seen him play against us in a while. You know, this record that we had of beating Sacramento in Sacramento was since Mark Davis, really. That Mark Davis game back when he stole the game from us is kind of the last game we lost in Sacramento until last night. So once again, we're losing a streak that we had that sucks. We had not lost in Sacramento since 2016 until last night. But God forbid we lose to a really high offensive, crazy ass team doing a very high level play last night. They really were really high level. Nako saying, love watching Sabonis when he's not cooking us. Yeah, you like watching him in other games. Yeah, he is what it is, man. In some ways, I can't hate on him. His father was one of my favorites back in the day. Alvin talking about playing with Arvydas in the broadcast for just a little bit. He's like, I got the joy of playing with Arvydas Sabonis on my team in Portland. And so he knows all about Domatis's dad, Arvydas. And in some ways, I'm a fan of the Lithuanian team because of Jonas Valanciunas and my ties to the Baltic states. So I can't hate on Lithuanians in the league. I can hate on the Latvian though. That idiot Porzingis, he's a Celtic. But I won't hate on the Lithuanians. Those guys are good. And Jillian and I really like Sabonis. I really do. Nako. Let's see. Jillian saying the whole thing with OG was annoying last night. What thing with OG? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't care if it's Nick stuff, it's this stuff, whatever. I mean, what are they saying? You may have to elaborate for me. I kind of just paid attention to the game, went in a little rabbit hole, and didn't really pay attention to the rest of the league. Jimmy's saying incredible shot making by the Kings last night. Chris is saying surf and turf. At Jill, I always liked walking into a restaurant and saying surf and turf. Surf and turf. Yeah, let's get these guys surf and turf. Get them at least surf and turf. At least turf. Get them at least turf, if not surf and turf. Jill's saying, nope, upscale restaurants only, Chris. That's right. Surf and turf can be an upscale. You can go into one of these restaurants with a maitre d' and ask for the lobster and steak. Yeah, they can do that. G's saying, I think Gary's defense on guards was missed too. He can be pesky. They were able to break down the defense to get it to Sabonis and to the open three. You know what? This is a good point. I mean, we didn't have Gary Trent Jr. in the game last night, and that's a little bit of a difference than what we're normal with. I don't know. I guess I could maybe see what you're saying, G. I guess I could see that. Jill's saying the cowbells were terrible. I didn't even hear the cowbells. At least they toned them out. I just heard, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. He was doing it so much. He was throwing Alvin off the game. Did you hear Alvin pause for a second? He's like, he didn't know what to say. He was like processing his thoughts. And Matt's saying, like, don't stay here, Alvin. Stay here. Nope, just focus on the game. It was like, this guy, he's yelling right in my ear, Matt. He's yelling right in my ear. Oh, man, it's crazy. Nako saying, I haven't loved Gary's defense this year. You haven't loved it. I thought he's been solid. In fact, he may be better on the defensive end than the offensive end this year. I think G's right. I think that in some ways that three guard rotation of Quickley, Schroder, and Trent was missing one of the three prongs. And two of those guys are still great. But yeah, Gary could have helped last night. I think he's right. G saying hasn't been great, but I did see it. It's good yesterday. He's still pesky at times. Yeah, I agree with this. I think G had a good point. Jill saying, Lex, I blocked someone the other day for myself. It has nothing to do with your channel. No, it wasn't you. It could have been Monique. I think she blocked Milbester from the channel. She's a mod. See, she has the wrench, and she can just cut people out if she wants to. I don't know if she did that, though. I won't accuse her unfairly. I don't know who did it, but all I know is I went in to look at the block list yesterday to find Jimmy Pope, and I saw Milbester's name there, and I was like, wait a second. We didn't block Milbester. Let's not block Milbester. He's my dude. He's my Knicks guy. We can't block Milbester. Come on, man. He's annoying, but, I can manage him. G saying, I did see the void yesterday. You saw the void? What are you talking about, the void? I'm trying to remember what we're talking about with the void. You did see the void. Nako saying, I feel a little bummed about the loss. What is with the little stars? I don't know. You guys are like footnoting things. I don't know. What is with the little stars when you guys? Cool Cat's here. Good to see Cool Cat. Pascal Siakam stand number 1. This is the number 1 fan of Siakam, and we love Cool Cat for it, and I love Siakam too, and we want him to be very happy and on our team for a long time. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. Bummer on that game. Jordy needs to come home with us. Some people are saying this, that they regret hiring Darko and not having Jordy. I'm going to say this, Cool Cat. I'm glad we got both of them for the 2 jobs that they got. I think that Jordy's a fantastic coach for Team Canada, and I think Darko's a fantastic coach for the Raptors. And I don't want that job to be by the same person again. I think that we learned a tough lesson with Nick Nurse, that you don't want to invest something in both places. That you're putting your chickens, all your eggs in one basket. And that's the problem. You go south with Nick and your team, and then all of a sudden it's an uncomfortable, weird ass situation for your Team Canada team. And in that way, all of a sudden it's like the continuity going into the World Cup this summer is messed up because you have to scramble and hire somebody all of a sudden real quick. No, I want to keep them separated, just like that song from the 90s, that old rock song. You got to keep them separated. Dun, 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 dun. Who's that? Dun, 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 dun. Ugly Kid Joe or something like that. I don't know. But I'm just saying, we don't want the same person to have both those jobs ever again. I think that's the lesson of Nick Nurse right there. You don't want the same person coaching the Toronto Raptors and Team Canada. It's just not a good idea. So I'm very happy with who's in each job. I know that people aren't totally happy with Darko, and they're second guessing this hire and thinking Jordy would be different in this place, but I don't know if he'd be any different. I think if you put Jordy Fernandez in the same exact situation as Darko Rajakovic this season, he would probably have the same bullshit that he'd have to deal with, the unprofessional bullshit, and he wouldn't be figuring things out until this trade happened also. So we could say Jordy might have been a better pick than Darko, but we don't know. And ultimately, Bobby Masai made this coaching hire for a reason, and I'm starting to see more of the reasons why. He's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic. So I love Jordy being the coach of Team Canada. In fact, I'm excited for the Olympics this summer, but let's keep them separated. Let's just put it that way. Let's keep them separated. Kevin saying Sacramento has a lot of shooters. Monk, Herder, Murray. That is why they almost beat the Warriors last year in the playoffs. Yeah, they're a dangerous team. We got to figure out that formula for them. And you know what? We found out a lot of good things. And you know what? We're this close to beating them. We play a certain way on defense a little bit better early. We don't let them get hot streak. Well, we kill them. We don't let them get so happy and going so well on the threes. Boom, we beat the shit out of them last night. Seriously. It's just we got to figure out that puzzle better for when we play them in Toronto later this season. When we play them again, I'll bet you we'll play them way better next time, and especially in our own home court. It's going to be fun. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. I saw a lot of good things, especially on the fourth, regardless. Yeah, the defense was way better. However, in my opinion, the team was not prepared for this game. Better adjustments need to be made earlier when certain things aren't working. You know, I don't know how you get prepared with this such new stuff and you're hitting the road immediately. Like, they are going to try and piece together practices. They're going to try to put together times when they're traveling where Darko sits and he explains things to RJ and Emmanuel. They're going to try and tell them in the middle of the game, Jakob's going to say, yeah, well, this is how we do this and this, RJ, and this and this. But how the hell? I mean, seriously, how are they going to be absolutely optimally prepared with the brand new stuff and how everything's come in? It's not like they got a training camp. It's not like these guys like have a whole lot of games with us. They've got 3. So in some ways, it's tough for them to be absolutely prepared just in this situation right now, currently with the new acquisitions. Jill saying, gee, I'm confused about what we have a hot hand, as Leo Routon said. Suddenly we have a timeout. Sigh. You're talking about a hot hand? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Yeah, when guys get a hot hand, well, the timeout comes from the other side. You see somebody starting to kill you, you got to call a timeout. If we're starting to kill them with Siakam, well, they're going to call a timeout. Let's see. G saying Lakers have Clutch and Knicks have CAA. Someone explain how that is fair. Exactly. We need to get the Canadians in. I don't want the league to suddenly be mad about it. Well, if it's going to get all territorial and tribal, and we're going to do this, if there's any guys down south, you know, Adam Silver, make the league more fun, make it more territorial. Like, seriously, just tell us. It's like, look, y'all get dibs on all Canadian players when they come up from now on the Raptors. Okay, we'll take that. Okay, we get first dibs. Just scrap the whole draft and just make it territorial. All the New York players go to New York, and they're all CAA clients. All the LA players go to LA. I did this experiment a long time ago. I called it the Geography League. And I took all the team players and I put them on teams by where they were born. I had a team for California, a team for Florida. I had a team for Canada mixed with other international teams because there weren't enough Canadian players at that time to put a whole team of Canadians together. This is in like the 2000s I did this project. And I wanted to learn where the best basketball players came from and what different personalities and different positions came from different places. I did the same project for baseball, and I learned a lot. Milbester would love this project because I found out a whole lot about Dominican Republic. I found out a whole lot about Texas and how they make a lot of good pitchers. I learned a lot in these geography league projects. Well, you want to be like this? Let's make it territorial. Give us all the Canadian players. Y'all can do whatever you want down there. We just want all the Canadians on our team. First dibs on Canadian players for Toronto. How about it? Why not? If y'all are going to move in this kind of direction, let's do it. Jill's saying, we have clutch people. Yeah, I'm suspicious of them. They're both underperforming. One's not performing at all, and the other one's very much underperforming and not looking like the same player as he was last year. Let's see. MSJ saying, as a fan of the game, the Pacers notched 50 assists. That's a big deal. They beat our top number for this year. Okay, 50 assists, Pacers. You go then. You go. Jill saying, as Raptors players too. Yeah, I know that. I know that we got two clutch people still, and their names are Christian Koloko and Gary Trent Jr. Yeah, I do. G saying, we do have clutch people, but it's LeBron's agency, so there's always something to be considered. Wouldn't be surprised if Gary ends up a Laker one day. Yeah, they want him. They want him. This is part of it. Sure. I could see, well, what happened? Gary Trent Sr. is at the game recently, and then where does he go next? Right after he leaves Toronto, he goes to Santa Monica. Winder sting. I don't know. We'll see. G saying, Darko has a lot of trust in IQ already. I mean, I do too already. I mean, in some ways, I would not let any other Raptors take some of those crazy ass threes he's taking, but he has a penchant to make them. And in some ways, I'm like, okay, let him do what he wants to do. I mean, that kid is really getting close to being like looking like Maxey out there. He's just got to make more shots. And let's just see if he hones his craft. He gets better and better. He's plays fundamentally well. And he shoots more than makes them. Then, yeah, let him green light whatever he wants to fucking do. I'm all about it. Let's see. Jill's saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Gary goes back to North Carolina someday. You mean because of his Duke ties and he goes to Charlotte Hornets? Maybe. I mean, he has been wearing those powder blue shoes recently. I felt like that was a nod when we played in Charlotte recently. He was wearing powder blue shoes. I'm like, Gary, why are you wearing Charlotte Hornets colors on your shoes? And we're in Charlotte. Sometimes that's a nod or something like that. I don't know. Why would he want to play for that team? Just ask yourself that question. Why would he want to play for them? Stargate saying, the offensive flow wasn't that bad. It was the defense, especially in the first half, that was not good. I don't understand why RJ wasn't in at the end of the game, though. A little strange. Yeah, I don't know why either. Maybe Darko was just testing to see how RJ would handle that. Maybe he really felt strongly in the leadership that Dennis was showing throughout the game, that he wanted it out there. Maybe there were certain things he was doing, like we were saying, to be aggressive and do certain things. I don't know. It was a weird decision to me. It was a weird decision. It stood out to me. And I agree with this. The defense was horrible in the first half. We let them score way too much early. Way too much. Jill's saying, you're right. IQ and RJ are new. However, defensively, I remember a lot more double teaming in our new or old coach. Yeah, well, that's Nick's philosophy. We've got to really understand, Jillian, that our coach last year was a defensive-minded coach. Our coach this year is very offensive-minded. Our coach last year didn't want the other team to score a whole lot and wanted to manufacture a lot of extra shots for our team because we didn't shoot very well. And he realized with these guys, good luck with these guys, that he needed to really focus on the defense and get them to work as hard as possible on defense to cough up turnovers for the other team so we'd get easy opportunities to score and transition. So he sent like crazy double teams and like flurries of just aggressiveness, one after the other. And we were always chasing the tail at the end of the snake to kind of catch up to the three-point shooter. And that's why all these open threes happen against Nick's system. Well, this is not what Darko values. Darko values 30 assists. He wants that number. That's the more important thing to him. He said that the team, we'll figure out the defense as it goes, but it's not the kind of focus and emphasis that Nick Nurse had. And the emphasis is on sharing the ball between each other and getting the assist numbers up and finding good high percentage shots from passing and moving the ball around. And that's the antithesis of Nick Nurse from last year. He was heavy on ISO and did not encourage the players to pass because he was worried about turnovers and the team getting more turnovers off the other team by playing really crazy defense and then limiting the turnovers for our team by not even passing it. So that's the big difference. It's a huge fundamental philosophical difference. Nick Nurse and Darko coaching our team. And I like this style. It's way more entertaining to watch. In some ways, the NBA, the way that Nick was coaching us is against what the NBA is doing with the league. The way that the style of play is evolving for more threes and just chopping the nuts off and castrating defenses at this point. It's like, what's the point? If you're going to make your strength defense at this point, well, the refs negate you because they'll call the game any which way. You could play perfect defense like you did 10 years ago, and the refs will mess you up, and they'll help the other team that's more offensive firepower beat you. This is a losing strategy. The old way of Nick Nurse last year. It is now a losing strategy. So you got to go the way that Darko's going because you got to get with the program. The NBA is saying this is an offensive league. Well, we better get more offensive is basically what it is right there. Let's see. G saying Jonte is starting to feel it. Like I like what I saw. He was hitting his threes too. Yeah, he had a really good second half. The first half, I was like, oh man, Jonte's not looking sharp. He's not looking good. But in the second half, he redeemed himself. That's for sure. Monique is saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Stars of the game in a loss, Chris, Jonte, and Scotty. Bonus Pascal. Good battle. Focus on the next one. This is interesting. Usually Monique and I are on the same page, but this game was ambiguous about who our top stars are. And she has two different stars than I do. Jonte and Scotty instead of Jakob and Dennis. That's what I'm saying. Everybody can see and value different things that they like about the game. And I can't disagree with her. I think that Scotty was solid in a lot of ways. And Jonte was fantastic. He was really, really good. All right, Milbester is here. Let's see. Good morning, Raptor Street. How was the Kings game? Wow, almost a comeback. On Twitter, my boy Knicks Fan TV called out Stephen A. Smith. Now he's cheering for our team. He's such a fake Knicks fan. They killed the Sixers. I'm glad y'all did. Seriously, I have a bounty on the Sixers. Y'all beating the Sixers last night makes me smile. I get very, very happy when I see Philadelphia and Nick Nurse lose right now. I get happy when I see Fred VanVleet and the Rockets win. But I get happy when I see Nick Nurse and the Sixers lose. That's a different thing. Well, it does have to do with Western and Eastern Conference. It does have to do with the Atlantic Division. And it does have to do with OG Anunoby being on your team. And I like him a lot more than I like Nick Nurse. So congratulations. I'm very happy and proud that New York beat the Sixers last night. You go, Knicks. I'm very happy that you guys did that. Good stuff. Kareem Thomas is saying, when you shoot like that from three, you deserve to win. The fact that we had a chance shows we are failing forward. Good to see we have some Balboa in us. Never gave up. I like that. You're bringing up Rocky, and I just put down Philadelphia. So it just comes full circle right there. So we're going to give Kareem a dunk, the first dunk of the day, because I like that. He said, you know what the reference is? Rocky gets the shit beat out of him. He does. He gets the shit beat out of him. His eyes were like, oh, Adrian. He's like, you got to do it, Rock. It's like, oh, and Adrian's like, throw the towel, Mick. Throw the towel. He's like, no, Adrian. He's almost dead. Like they beat the shit out of him, but he still gets up. He's still fighting. That is a little bit what like the Raptors were last night. That's true. Kubron's saying, let's trade Siakam. Okay, I remember you, Kubron, you bastard. You coming in here and you're saying right away, let's trade Siakam. No, let's not. Let's not. He's an NBA champion. Why does the Warriors get to keep Draymond Green? Why do they get to keep Clay and Steph when we can't keep Siakam, our last champion standing on our team? Kubron, do you want to erase the memory of the Toronto Raptors 2019 championship by taking every single player associated with it off of our team? Because I hate you, Kubron, if you want to erase that memory from us 5 years later. So, yeah, shut up with your trade Siakam stuff. I remember you, Kubron. Shut up, Kubron. All right, Naka's saying, a lot of the trades we could have done, we feel like we could have done it later. Masai said that 1 or 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm not worried about the trade. I trust in Masai and Bobby. I was rightfully right this past Saturday. So I'm just going to continue like this. And if they're smart, in some ways they have the same logic as me. You don't change so much so quickly. You really got to check it each time and incrementally change it. And in some ways, they're not going to make such a huge move right after Siakam. That makes no fucking – right after Anunoby, that makes no sense to move Siakam so soon after Anunoby. That's too much change too quickly. And in some ways, you need to see what it's like with Barrett and Quickley before you move Siakam next. And yeah, it's too soon. It's too soon. Too soon. Too soon. Jill saying Balboa, Rocky. Yeah. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And Kubron saying, is Coloco still with the Raps, bro? See, we see what level of Kubron is as a casual, as maybe not even a Raptors fan. I wouldn't be suspicious of Kubron who comes in here. Are you a Raptors fan, Kubron? Because you should know Coloco is on our team still. If you're a real Raptors fan, I mean, to be a basic Raptors freak, you have to know our team. You have to be in the know, bro. If you're around me enough, you will be in the know. In fact, I don't know if some of y'all have found since you've been watching the Raptors freak, when you're around your other friends that you talk basketball with, you have more insightful opinions and you say some crazy shit to them. And they're like, whoa, that was a really good idea. It's like, well, I watched Raptors freak. Kubron, you were watching me. You know Coloco's still on our team. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Come on now. Kubron, why? Why? That's what Stargate's saying. Why, Kubron? Why? Why do you not realize it? Because long COVID? Because he's got a respiratory illness? Because he's wearing a slick leather jacket on the bench last night during the Kings game and he is still on our team? He's sitting right there. You can see him on the TV if you're paying attention, Kubron. I don't know. I don't know. In some ways, this is the promo we were talking about, Jillian, right here. Cutting a little bit of wrestling promo on somebody right here. That's right. Jill saying, oops, no, sorry. After walk, it was the gent who sits behind Sherm who stated that talks are off with Sacramento in reference to Siakam. That's all. Lex, cheers. I love that. When they said that yesterday, it was fantastic. I'm like, does it make any sense that y'all need Siakam right now? I think their team was working fine last night. Do they really want to shake their team up just because trade heads and shams and stupid asses are saying Siakam's traded to the Sacramento Kings? Well, do the Kings need to make a trade? I was watching them last night. Don't look like they do. Do we need to trade Siakam? Don't look like we do. These people are just like thirsting for a trade. Oh, now that you did Anunoby, please just do Siakam now too. Oh my gosh. Come on. You need to use logic. Where's logical Raptors fanatic when you need him? Use some logic. Logic, people. Milbester's saying, Lex, the OG trade. All right, let's see what Milbester's saying here. Let's see what he's saying here. I really love everybody being here, and I don't mind talking today. We can go a little bit today. I don't mind. We still do have over an hour right now. But do give me a cutoff, guys. Give me a cutoff. Oh, wow. You guys did fill it up a bit here. Lex, the OG trade has allowed the Knicks to get this to the Sixers level. I was shocked we beat them by 36 points and Randall didn't play well. They're on the Sixers level now. Still 3 more games with them. This is good. I want y'all to win the series with them. Beat their ass. Put them out. If you play them in the playoffs, beat them and put them out. And I'll wear a Knicks jersey on this. I won't wear a Knicks jersey, but I'll wear a Knicks something on this channel. I'm telling you, Milbester, I have a bounty on 2 teams. And if the Knicks either put out the Celtics or the Sixers out of contention for this year, I will wear Knicks something on this channel. That I have a bounty on both those teams. I hate them that much. I hate the Sixers and the Celtics that much that I will wear Knicks gear on this channel. We are brothers in arms. The Knicks and the Raptors families are now hybrid families because people love RJ and Quickley and people love OG. And in some ways, I am rooting for y'all to kick the shit out of the Sixers every single time y'all play them. So good job last night. I appreciate you. Kubron saying, Stargate, do you think he will resign with the Raps or the Raps will resign him? I like both of those outcomes. So let's just say yes and yes, Kubron. How about that? Now you're starting to come around here. Black Spawn saying, Kubron, you are side dished. The feed is not for you. Black Spawn don't talk a whole lot recently, and this is hilarious. I'm going to give you a dunk, Black Spawn, because, like, honestly, bro, I've not seen you in the chat very often, and I love you just stepping in to tell somebody like you're a doorman, say, bro, this stream's not for you, man. You can't come in, bro. You got to go over there. I love it. Black Spawn, you're awesome, man. I love you, man. I know you're a regular. I know you're here all the time, and you don't always talk. But I love that you just chipped in right there and you just told him that. So you're getting a dunk for that. Black Spawn, awesome. Awesome. He's like, bro, you're side dished. You're side dished. That's so awesome. Jill saying Siakam does a lot to clean up our games. Yeah. Yeah. His defense, like, this is the thing. OG gets out of the way, and all of a sudden everybody's going to start seeing how good Siakam is on defense. Really, seriously, you're going to see he's going to take over more. Him and Scott are going to be more like everybody's going to open their eyes. I mean, we already see it with Scott. How can you not see it with Scott? That block on Sabonis late in the game was absolutely top-notch defensive kind of stuff. But with Siakam, you see, because Anunoby's not there anymore. In some ways, the kudos that Anunoby was getting were propped up by Siakam being next to him. And he's absolutely a top-notch defender himself. And we're going to see it more. We're going to see it more. Kareem's saying, we signed Siakam to whatever he wants. Teams don't want to make trades for Siakam because he said he won't resign. Now, we have to be clear. He told us that that was not true. That was a lie. And that was a made-up story about him not wanting to resign with someone to scare people off. That was made-up bullshit. And he came around and said, I don't know where somebody said that. I've never said that. So just to be clear, that is not true, Kareem. Even as much as I wish that was true, that's not totally true. He didn't actually say that. So let's sign Pascal and watch teams bid for him because they get surety that he's theirs. This may be really the smart move is do the extension with Siakam and tell him it's like, look, I know that you like to play here and we'd like to keep you here, but we want to keep it open just in case that we can send you somewhere else in a trade. And now a lot of people are saying, man, Detroit is one of the teams we talked about trading him to, and that would be doing him dirty. In some ways, that's true. In some ways, that would be dirty if we did trade him to Detroit all of a sudden, and he had to deal with that mess there. But it's the NBA, and there's no guarantees for anybody. And in some ways, Siakam is just happy he's playing in the league, and he's just happy that he makes millions of dollars, and he's just happy that he has a championship ring already. And that's the one thing everybody can say, well, that's horrible. If you send Pascal Siakam, trade him to the Pistons, that's just wrong how you deal. No, this is the NBA. The man's making tons of money. He's going to be happy. In fact, it's very close to Toronto if he gets traded to there. In some ways, his life transition may be easier. It's just like a JYD jumps in a pickup truck kind of thing. I don't know. We don't want to move Siakam. But in some ways, we need to sign his extension just so we have the ability to control the destiny of what happens with him a little bit better to help him in certain ways and help the team also. So, yeah, Chris is saying, Milbester, anything that sinks the Sixers is terrific news. That's right, Milbester. You coming in here and giving me the good news about what y'all did last night is going to get you a dunk. Milbester is in the dunk leaders top. He's got 4 dunks this season already. Amazing stuff. Stargate saying at Kubron, you don't answer a question with another question, young one. No, he can. Let this be the chaotic mess that this channel is sometimes. Y'all can come in here and write crazy shit, and I would think it's something, and then I'd try and read it like Jam Joss that one day. He got mad at me because he was like typing. I'll read whatever they write. I don't care. It could be stupid and crazy. Milbester saying, we haven't played the Kings yet, but they're a good team. Malik Monk having a good year. Fox and Sabonis are good. Raptors fans know Sacramento are a good team. Slipped a bit this year, but still good. Yeah, I don't know if they're as good as last year. Sacramento. I don't know if they're as good as last year. They're interesting. They're very annoying. Let's just put it that way. And they were on fire. Now, if you catch them and they're a little bit off, man, we could beat them. They were just on it. They were on it last night. They were very much on it. They were very sharp. Very, very sharp. Well, good luck to y'all when you play them. Kubron's saying, Black Spawn. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Black Spawn's official doorman. So, yeah, you better listen. He could kick you out. Let's see. Jill's saying, Kareem, yes, we want to keep Pascal still. Yes, I do too. Mugarbe's here. Good to see Mugarbe holding it down in Alberta for us. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. I don't think front office cares about Pascal because this guy's name is in trades and saying he needs to prove himself, and yet Pascal's still playing at NBA levels. Yeah, this is the perception that people are trying to put out there. There's a lot of talking heads saying this bullshit, like Vivek Jacob, idiot Vivek Jacob. You're putting your own perception on things, and Mugarbe is buying it. That's the problem right here. They're not mistreating him. We don't know how they're treating Siakam. You can see that like Masai and Bobby probably talk to him, and nobody tells anything. Everything is being filled in. It's like a coloring book, and there's nothing colored in. It's the picture is white, and there's reporters, people like Shams, people like on ESPN, people like Woj, people like Vivek Jacob, Amit Man, that are filling in what they want you to see in the picture, where that may not be the colors that Masai and Pascal and Bobby are actually filling in behind the scenes, because they're not telling you the colors that they're painting that coloring book with. That's what I'm saying. There's other people in the media filling in the blank canvas of the coloring book, and the colors you're seeing are the ones that they want you to see. You don't know what the reality is between the relationship between Pascal and Masai right now is. It could very well be Bobby and Masai came to Pascal a couple times in the last year with an offer of an extension, and he rejected it. Yeah, it could have been a fair number. And he's just like, no, we got to put it off. My agency is telling me that we need to just wait and we're going to try and get more money later. You don't know the truth about this. It's real easy to say that Masai is not respecting Siakam, but we don't know if that's true because Masai's not talking to anyone. He doesn't talk to anyone. That's why everything you hear about the Toronto front office is a lie because they don't talk to nobody. How the hell do you know what Bobby or Masai is thinking right now? You can't because they are like a locked seal box and they don't let nothing out. So Mugabe, a lot of your opinion is based on the people that don't know what they're fucking talking about, filling in the blanks for you, and you're buying it. I wouldn't buy this. I mean, Siakam looks stressed. Sure, he's playing at a high level. If he was in such a bad place, do you think that he could mentally play at the level he's playing right now? If he was in such a bad place, he's playing amazing. He's smiling. He has joy in his game quite often when he's playing these days. So I don't get this. If you want to look at the painting filled in with the colors by Vivek Jacob, he's going to tell you how things are going with the Siakam stuff. Well, I don't believe it. I'll believe it what comes from the mouths of our front office themselves because they're the only people that know what they're talking about. The other people are just guessing and they're making up conjecture and they're basing it on their own perceptions. So that's all I would say right there. Yeah. Vivek Jacob. That's who. That's right. Jimmy's saying, I really like Jonte as a small backup big. Only if he was a few inches taller, he'd be a beast. Well, he's actually legitimate 7-footer. He's not. He looks short. He's a little slight of build right now because he is very young and he will put on more muscle. But Jonte's good, man. Jonte's good. He's got good height. And we saw in the last 2 appearances of him being able to play vertical, like good defense and rim protect. That's the important stuff. And then some of the things he did last night was handling Sabonis and his bullishness. Sabonis is such a physical player. He's hard to contain. And Jonte was doing an admirable kind of job, if not totally successful, just trying to handle him physically. That's not easy to do. Not easy to do at all. Nako's saying Pacers cannot sign for Pascal unless they trade for him. Pacers would have to overpay for Pascal anyways, unless you're overpaying Pascal, ain't moving. Yeah, in some ways, this whole thing's just going to continue to be going on, but in some ways, it's stupid. People are going to make rumors up. I will tell every Raptors fan, don't believe it until you actually see that Woj bomb. Don't believe anything you hear. That's why I said with OG, well, when you hear it official, then you can believe it. And it was last year, last week. But now with Siakam, it's the same thing. It's going to be a lot of smoke, bullshit that is just not anything of value. It's just people putting bullshit out there, and it's not necessarily true. Mo's saying good shot by IQ at the end, though. Not mad. I don't know. I would have liked a different one. I felt like he had more time. I felt like he could have gotten closer. I would have maybe liked a good pass to maybe Barnes and let him shoot the 3. I don't know. There's a couple different ways we could have done the last 5 minutes of the game. And I think we would have had a better outcome and possibly won. Wayne's saying it says a lot when a team has to have a career night in 3-point shooting to beat us. Shot selection key. And Siakam needs more touches, but really not much to criticize. Let's go beat the Warriors now. I agree with this. I think Wayne Strainer's right. You know, it's mostly more right than wrong. And fine tuning. And God forbid, once again, these guys haven't even been on our team for a week. And we're playing at a high level. And they had like a career night almost on the other side. Yeah, Wayne's got it right here. He's got it right. Tristan saying ball has to be in best players' hands more, in my opinion. Darko says protect the paint first, but threes are primary method of scoring in this league. Well, he builds it out from there, and I get it. It's once again, I'll say that they weren't guarding the 3 badly last night. It's just they were that good. They were that good, and in some ways, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? I agree that your first point is exactly right. Siakam not getting more shots in the last part of the game is a travesty. It's an absolute travesty. Mugabe's saying, I don't understand, Jill. I think she's asking about who was saying this stuff and who made you believe this about the Siakam situation. Listen, I know Mugabe, much like Cool Cat, is a huge Pascal fan, and he's looking out for Pascal. He really likes him. And I'm with you guys. Trust me, I'm with you guys. But I am with the team first. But I am with Siakam, and I want to look out for him, and I do really highly prize him being a Raptor. And I want to see him continue to play for us. So a lot of conjecture, a lot of the bullshit that's going around there, just don't listen to it. It's unnecessary noise. 97% of it is bullshit. Most of it is absolute bullshit. When you hear anything that has to do with Siakam's name in the last couple of years, just like Anunoby, most of it was bullshit, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. Yeah. And she was referring to your statement. That's what it was. G saying if they trade Siakam, don't want this, and they get a few young players back, shooters with IQ and shoot first point guard, Scotty's shot attempts may dip. His role already seems a bit less defined. Yeah, in some ways, with RJ and Emmanuel showing up, Scotty's had to adjust, and he's morphing again. In some ways, the overpowering, crazy Scott that was here a month ago is not exactly the same one. But it's not that he's regressing. It's just that he has to figure out what the puzzle piece that he is best to help us win. And it may not be some of the same stuff it was a month ago because he has more help in certain areas. And maybe he needs to go do more stuff like blocking Sabonis at the end of the game or going to get big rebounds, stuff like that. I still think Scotty needs to just feast inside. Every single time he gets near the paint and he shoots something within 10 feet, it's just a good thing. It's just a good thing all around. Yeah, it is. Mugabe St. Jill, I'm talking Pascal. That's right. Something's off with Scotty last night. I don't know. I don't think he was upset or anything. I think that he just had a few too many turnovers. But honestly, he wasn't that bad last night, honestly. Norma's saying, it seemed to me if Scotty was in, Pascal was told to go to the corner. Yeah, I noticed that this happens with these guys. Like both of them get put in the corner at times. And I like it in some ways because we see what RJ did when he found Scott in the corner like that. He drew all the attention on the other side, on the strong side, and he tossed it all the way to the corner to Scott for a weak side three where he's wide open. That's good stuff. In some ways, they're helping to space the floor by being over in the corner. It's not a bad thing, Norma. It's just that in some ways, the guys have to be able to kick it to them if they're absolutely wide open and give them those open threes. So it's on the other guys to make the pass like RJ did in that moment. But they can be forgotten and just kind of ignored in the corner also if guys are doing too much and not paying attention to them there. Wayne saying, agreed, Lex. Quickley will come to understand he's not our savior. He will get it and understand. Porter has a center with outside offense potential, is a game changer. Can't guard that. Yeah, there's a lot of things to Jonte's game that are fantastic, and we need to see it more with the team on the big club. Just real quick, we are having a game today. It's 9:05 playing College Park Skyhawks, 6:30 tip-off today. So let me just do the ref report real quick for that. Our referees for the 9:05 game today are crew chief Biniam Maru, number 45, referee Chelsea Painter, number 66, and umpire Caitlin Verzosa, number 23. That's 6:30. Hopefully they get some payback from the loss to the College Park Skyhawks on Thursday. So, yeah, they're playing again today. We'll see some Marquise Noel, 6:30 p.m., 9:05. And I'll be in that chat. If they have it on Facebook, on YouTube, I'll be in there chatting during it if you guys can come in there and be around with me there. Yeah, and also Quickley doesn't need to be the end-all be-all. Now, on some nights, he can be that big shot guy and win games for us. But I don't want it to be like it was last night. It needs to be measured and within the game and within the limits and a little bit higher percentage. In some ways, it needs to be a little bit higher percentage of kind of attempts. In some ways, he was throwing crazy chunks and really not good shot selection in some ways from Quickley late in the game. Let's see. Kubron saying Schroder is really good addition. We got to keep him. All right, Kubron, you're coming full circle. This is weird. Like, all right, Kubron, I can get behind this. He likes to stay. He wants to stay. He said he wants to be long-term. We'll see if it's in the cards. We'll see. But yeah, all right, Kubron, a turnaround. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it, Kubron. Jill saying Mugabe rumors about Pascal are rumors. Pascal doesn't want to be traded, or if so, won't resign. Cheers. Listen, he knows the business side of these things. He said it. In some ways, he understands this. And in some ways, he's been ready for himself to be traded for a while now, just in case. In fact, he was ready last summer, but it has not happened. And in some ways, this is a good thing. So I don't know. Rumors are just rumors, and we should not get behind anything or think about anything or get ahead of ourselves until something actually happens. Nako saying, I'm on the side of Masai wouldn't trade Siakam if it wasn't worth it. Yeah, that's another thing is they look at the value that we got for OG and understand the value we're going to get for Siakam is going to be immense. And in some ways, it's the lining up of both sides with the team that actually has assets that we want, that is willing to do this with us. And in some ways, those things may not line up exactly in the current ecosystem of the NBA with where teams are and what they're trying to do. Like, part of it is a lot of the teams in the league right now are pretty good. There's not very many teams that are really bad, like the Spurs or the Pistons. Most teams are in contention and are playing very well. In fact, it was kind of risky of New York to do this trade because they are already doing really well. And it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But as Milbester said, you make the risk of getting an OG and trading RJ and them, and you jump up in a level where you can compete with Philadelphia all of a sudden. But that's the thing. There's a lot of teams like Sacramento, Indiana that may be like, I don't know if we want to gamble on this, or we're kind of already competing and winning and having success right now. So there's a lot less desperate teams in the league that want to make trades, that it doesn't totally make sense to do a trade like around Siakam, such an immense player with such a haul for a lot of the teams, because they're okay with what they're doing right now and they're competing. Does that make sense logically, what I just said? Because in some ways, the settings of the league have to be conducive for a big move like Siakam getting traded. And it's not really right now, if you really think about it. The league's not really conducive for a Siakam trade right now, is really what I keep thinking. When I look around the league and I hear what Sacramento was saying yesterday, well, this doesn't sound conducive for a trade. Indiana, well, this doesn't sound conducive for a trade. Y'all just got 50 assists. Why the fuck do you need Siakam? It's that kind of thinking, is what I'm thinking. Detroit, now they may be more interested in listening. Yeah. And that may be more why people have said Siakam could end up on the Pistons, because they need help and they may be more interested in listening for sure. For sure. All right. Let's see. G saying, Jill, I think Scotty needs and wants the ball in his hands. He does better when engaged as a playmaker. Same with Siakam. Yeah. Well, if these guys are disappearing at the end of the game, they need to be getting the ball. I agree. Jill saying Sabonis is the bonus. Sabonis is the bonus? All right, Jill, that's weird. And that's a weird thing for me to say. Sabonis is the bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a dunk just because you made me rhyme something and it's funny. And sometimes I just give dunks for silly reasons because you just said Sabonis is the bonus. That's funny. Nako saying, when a day with controversy happens, I call it one of the days ever. What this day, January the 6th? You forgot an adjective. I think you're right, Jill. I think Nako left something out in there. Mugabe saying, Jill, it's not rumors. Tell me a guy that still plays at a high level when the front office disrespecting you. They would quiet. Listen, once again, Mugabe, did you hear me? The front office ain't saying shit. Everybody else is saying things for them. It's almost like, all right, let's act like Justin Bieber is Messiah. And he's like standing here and he's just not saying anything because he doesn't talk. He does his job silently. He goes to the office. He talks to Bobby. He talks to the inner circle. They talk about everything, but none of them talk about it because loose slips sink ships and they don't talk about their business outside. So everybody who's saying shit doesn't know anything. So basically they're saying something in his place and just filling it in. And Bobby and Messiah are going to go and debunk every stupid ass rumor that everybody's saying because they don't talk. So basically this is Messiah. His mouth is open, but he's not talking. I'm talking for him. And that's the reporters. And that's what you need to understand right now. You can say they're disrespecting him or saying this. That's in the inflection of Vivek Jacob in his own brain, reading the situation and filling in the blanks for you and telling you that's what's happening. I don't think that's what's happening. I really do not. I think that they have a lot of respect and highly esteem. It's like Masai said on Open Gym yesterday. They're like his babies. They're like his babies. You think they're disrespecting Siakam? No, the press is disrespecting Siakam with an overabundance of trade rumors and throwing his name around like he's a cheap suit. That's what it is right there. That's what it is right there. So Mugabe, just because Mr. Masai is not saying it or anything, they're going to fill in the blanks for you and you're buying it. That's what it is right there. Nako's saying, Jill, leaving the adjective out for comedic effect. I don't even know what he's trying to say. Right over my head. Jill saying, Mugabe, okay, that's what you're saying. Siakam could do more threes, but you're right. Some people are disrespectful towards him. Deep down, we all know his worth. Cheers. It's the reporters that are being disrespectful by putting his name in trade rumors that have no base. That's who's being disrespectful to him, Mugabe. I love you, bro. You're amazing. But it's the reporters who are being disrespectful to him. The front office is working with him. The front offices are giving him offers. He's rejecting them. How is that disrespectful? See, I don't understand this. There's nothing that people are filling in the blanks for you, and you're buying it. They don't say nothing. They're very quiet front office. G saying, let's talk about Chris Boucher and his hustle and energy. He really wanted to win this game. He should come in before McDaniels, in my opinion. Chris is an ultimate pro, and I really like what's been happening out there. G, you're getting a dunk for saying that you want to put more shine on Chris. You know, he has not played as much this year as in years before. He played way more under Nick Nurse than he's playing for Darko. And in some ways, look, Darko's been a little hard on him. And Darko's been like, I want the best quality out of him. I believe in him. But now he's paying it off. He's paying it off because he's out there busting his ass. He's in there getting fouls off of rebounds. He's just really smart. That charge play that he drew was fantastic. It was just outside of the restricted area, and the refs got it right. There were a few challenges that were kind of crazy last night, but the refs got it right. Curtis Blair, you're fantastic. I absolutely love Curtis Blair. He's a great ref. JT Orr was a little, he had a little bit of bullshit in what he was doing last night. And Musa wasn't even a factor, honestly. He just was along for the ride. But yeah, the refs were really good last night. Some people may say, oh, the refs were kind of bullshit at times. Yeah, maybe a couple calls were kind of whack. But for the most part, they were really good. Like I didn't like that they called the foul on the follow through on the block. And like he cleanly blocked Sabonis and his hand just happened to come down and hit him in the face. That shouldn't have been a foul for that. That was more like Curtis Blair doing the challenge and going to look at it and NBA over the headset saying, yeah, you got to still call the foul on Boucher. But he cleanly blocked it, and that's after the fact. Well, just make it up. We're the NBA. We're referees. We can do what we want. You tell them it's a clean block, but it's still a foul because you followed through it into the face. What is Curtis Blair supposed to do? It's NBA refs and the head office in Secaucus telling them that's the call. He probably would have called it the right way if he didn't have to talk to them. I'm going to tell you that right now. Jill's saying, I'm afraid Chris will get traded with Thad. I mean, I don't like trading our Canadians. Once again, I don't like trade talk. I don't like trade talk. I don't like talking about salaries. I like talking about basketball. I like talking about things that I saw on the court. And a lot of this stuff is stuff that I really don't like talking about. The trade talk is so annoying. It's so overwhelming. In fact, it's a thing used by media and other people around the places to just make people feel unsettled. It's like, do we ever get a period of time to just enjoy watching the game? No, they're always talking about this extension's coming up in 2024. This is coming up in this. As soon as we figure out all this shit with Siakam and Gary Trent this year, this could be the next year's ones. And they're just going to harp on that, harp on that, harp on that, harp on that. And everybody's going to be agitated and worried about the next player and their extension and their situation with the team. It just never ends. So why don't we have a safe space where we just disregard this bullshit and we stay present with the team that we have in the present moment right now, and we just worry about the basketball instead of the GMing, instead of the contracts expiring, instead of the free agencies, instead of all this bullshit? Can we just be fans again and just watch the team and enjoy it instead of getting all bent out of shape and worried about shit that's going to happen months from now or a year from now? The press keeps reminding us, oh, well, you need to worry about this player because if they're not extended by this time, they may be leaving in free agency in the summer. Forget all that shit. Let's just watch the games. Let's just enjoy the team we presently have. Let's not worry about what Siakam's future is. Let's not worry about Gary Trent Jr.'s future. Let's just watch the games. This is something that the press has robbed us of in the enjoyment of watching the NBA at this point. That it's become a 24-hour news cycle of just cramming bullshit to be worried about as a fan about your team. It's not just us. It happens to all of the 30 teams in the NBA. This gaslighting bullshit by press to make you worry about contract situations a year or 6 months away from shit when it actually matters. We've been all bent out of shape about Siakam and his stupid-ass contract for over a year now. When do we get a chance to just enjoy the games? That's what I'm wanting. I want somebody to clip me out and go post me all over the place with my rant that I just did right now. Seriously, this is the rant that the whole NBA and all the fans need to hear, and the press especially. When do we just get to enjoy the games? Why are we always worried about contracts? Why are we always worried about contracts? It's stupid at this point because it'll never end. It will never end. They will continue to put these kind of stories and this bullshit in our faces. So it's our choice whether we want to ignore it and just be fans and stay present and watch the games and quit worrying about the GM and the front office bullshit that they're doing. Seriously, I was a kid. I didn't care about the contracts. I didn't care about what the terms and all this bullshit and the money and lining up. I didn't even know. I was ignorant to it. I just went and watched games. I saw players play. I saw dunks. I saw good basketball, and I cared. And that was the thing I loved about basketball. I didn't care about the front office shit. Like all this bullshit these days. So can we be like this more? Please. Please. I'm just sick of it. I don't want to worry about trades. I don't worry about contract extensions anymore. I'll let Masai and Bobby do their job. I trust them. And I'll react to when they do their job afterwards. But I don't want to speculate anymore. I don't want to feel like I have to worry about this. I don't want to get anxiety and stressed out over things that I can't control or things that people are telling me that I should worry about. You're telling me I should worry about this, Vivek Jacob? You're telling me I should worry about this, Shams? No, fuck y'all. Y'all aren't telling me what I should worry about. I worry about what I want to worry about in my life. And you can fucking hold your opinions and your worries about the fucking salary cap and the fucking trades and shit. You can hold that for yourself and stop fucking putting it on me with your bullshit is what I'm going to say right there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That may be one of the most important rants I've done in the 3 years that I've done this channel. The one that I just did. Because seriously, it's never going to end. They're going to continue to just bring the next player's contract who's up. And they're going to bring it and put that in our face over and over again. Yeah, it's so annoying. Anyway, and that's not directed at Jill. That's not directed at anybody specifically. That's just my general, annoyance with this subject I just talked about. Mischief is saying, I thought Jonte was Otto Porter Jr. in the last game because you saw Porter in the box score. And you're like, oh, you didn't realize that wasn't Otto. Yeah, we got 2 Porters now. I was asking myself, why does Otto Porter Jr. look so different? Like a 2.0 Porter. We should sign Jonte Porter. He's a good 3-point shooter. Yeah, this is funny. Mischief, I'm going to give you a dunk for your confusion. Yeah, Jonte, this is the thing. I really do feel like our announcers, like Jack Armstrong and Alvin Williams and the other guys, like even Sherman Hamilton, Paul Jones, Matt Devlin, y'all should be watching 905 games too. You guys don't have really hard jobs. And in some ways, y'all should be watching the 905 games also. I can tell a lot of y'all don't. I can tell a lot of y'all really don't. At this point, listen, I started watching them religiously about 2 years ago. When I started this channel, I figured, well, I need to talk about Raptors. I better know about their farm team. Well, why does Jack Armstrong not know about our farm team? Like, seriously, Jack was sitting in the front row at the arena last night, right in the front row. Jack Armstrong watching the game because he's not working. It was a Sportsnet game, TSN. He's on the road. He's going to have to be with the team anyway. So he's sitting right in the front row. Jack, why aren't you watching 905? Why do you not know who Jonte Porter is? Why do you not understand why Jonte showed up and got it first in off the bench in the game you called the other night? Seriously, y'all need to do this. If y'all want to really be good at your jobs, y'all need to keep tabs on 905 and kind of watch them a little bit. I'm just going to say that. That's a criticism of all the guys who cover the main team. Because some of y'all are not watching the 905, and it is evident. And in some ways, that may be more important for y'all to stay in the know in the future. I'm just warning y'all. Seriously, Jack, I know you may watch me. You should watch 905. You've got the time. Just put some time. Even if you just watch the highlights or look at the box score or just get familiar with what's going on at that level, you'll sound a lot more knowledgeable because you sounded like you had never heard the name Jonte Porter in your life the other night when he checked into the game. And you were like, why is this guy coming in? Well, Jack, if you had been paying attention to 905 like I have been, you would exactly understand why Jonte Porter got put in the game the other night over Chris Boucher or anybody else. You would understand this. In some ways, I shouldn't be more informed than you, my man. I should not. I should not. No, I shouldn't. Let's see. Kevin's saying Boucher is underrated. He's great energy, big off the bench. He's a role player on a championship team. You need a player like Chris Boucher if you want to win championships. That's why we should value him. You need a player like Dennis. You need a player like Jakob. And you need a player like Chris. These are roles on a championship team. And he is a very, very good energy rebounder off the bench. Yeah, underrated. That's right, Jill. That's right. Black Spawn saying, when the team shoots lights out, you have to attack the paint and get to the free throw line. Put them in foul trouble. Blueprint from Kyle and Debo. Yeah, and we were doing that pretty good. I mean, the number of free throws that we got last night was pretty damn good. And then, listen, they were attacking them and going at them. I mean, we saw RJ at times just going towards the basket, making stuff. Dennis, this is good stuff. Black Spawn is exactly right. Milbester saying Stephen A. Smith is making our fan base for the Knicks look bad after that Sixers win. Now he's cheering for our team and said all the bad things about OG Anunoby, a casual fan from past generations. He's an entertainer. He's not a journalist. He's not, he's not anything except for a paid entertainer on TV. He's paid to say crazy ass shit, and he does. And that's why he's good at what he does, because he says crazy ass shit. Now his show, he's talking about everything. He'll watch clips and he'll demean normal people in other areas of life now. He's talking about politics now on his shit. He's a personality. And in some ways, he is what he is. He should be a Knicks fan, but he's not a loyal one. He can't be a fan like I am for the Raptors, for the Knicks, obviously. It's just how it is. And whatever. He is what he is. And the disrespect of Anunoby shows casualness in people. In fact, OG Anunoby is a great litmus test for how casual an NBA fan is. If you don't understand OG and why he's so good, that's because you have a blind spot because of Toronto. And then if you're already discounting him coming in, he's like, I don't know how to say his name. I don't care. He's just weird to me. Like, he's just a weird guy. I don't really respect him. That's how a lot of Americans are about him still, even though he's on New York. A lot of New York fans are embracing him, and they see what I'm talking about as far as why he was loved here in Toronto. But a lot of people that are, like Stephen A. Smith, they're still kind of like, he's Anunoby, and I'm used to slighting him because he was on Toronto for so many years, and he still hasn't gotten totally out of that mode. OG has a couple really huge games for the Knicks. Maybe Stephen A. Smith will learn to respect him better. How about that? Yeah. Nako's saying Boucher can be one of the best bench pieces in the league. He's just a really great role player. He really, really is. And a lot of teams in this league would love to have Chris on their team. He took less money to stay with us. That's part of the reason why we need to respect Chris Boucher. He's not about trying to play in the States. He plays for his home country, and he plays in Toronto. And that's what matters right there. She wants me to drink water at 10:30, so I'm an hour behind. This is good. Jillian, thank you for the time cap. Mo's saying, Jill, you do know when you say the times, people have a lot to say. Just saying. I have no problem with what she's doing. It's helpful. And I do need the cue to drink water. Milbester's saying, was the Kings on the road in Toronto, or was the Raptors in Sacramento? Raptors were in Sacramento. We were in Sacramento. The game was at 10 p.m. last night. Milbester. Let's see. Trevor's saying, I will be headed to LA on Monday, back-to-back Raptors games. There you go. There you go. Trevor J's a real one. He's going to be at Crypto for both the Lakers and the Clippers games Tuesday and Wednesday this week coming up. Jill's saying, Lex, I was actually asking the question about OG. I have no idea what was being said about him, so was asking. Cheers. Once again, if you don't put the context, I'm really in a present moment on here. You got to really write everything out all over again, because we jump from subject to subject so much, Jill, that you got to spell it out for me. I don't even know what you're talking about now. You really have to baby me. Like, the comments should be singularly just an island of itself that encapsulates everything you want to say in just that comment. It shouldn't be a reply to somebody else in there, because some of the stuff you're replying with other people, I'm not catching at that point. Like, you're having a back and forth with somebody else. I'm not going to keep up with that conversation when I'm running the whole stream and everybody else is. So when you write your comments, you have to baby me. You have to write it all out again. If it's a certain subject, especially if we jump to other subjects and we're jumping all around again. This really should be a chat that has like comments that are like questions for me, that are a panel. Say, hey, Lex, this is what I'm going to ask you about this. Or, hey, I want to bring this up about the game. It shouldn't be an online conversation or ongoing dialogue. It should very much be like, these are cue cards for me to read, like I'm a show on a host, and I'll read it real quick and I'll answer it, and we'll move on to the next subject. Does that make sense, Jillian? Because in some ways that'll help my stream be more like content friendly, as far as not making like complete haphazard chaos. So you really got to baby me. You got to think about each comment that you write in there is something I'm going to read. And does that make sense for me to read it on this show? Like this right here. Like, Lex, I was actually asking the question about OG. I have no idea what was being said about him, so I was asking. Cheers. Well, I don't even know what you're asking about. So it's like you're confused and I'm confused about what you're confused about. What is confused? Does that make any sense? Kareem's saying, one thing I learned about our organization during the Masai era is that they don't leak any info. They are thieves in the night. Why people don't grasp that? Sham is a shams, and a fuck Woj. Boom goes the dynamite. You know what? I'm giving him a 3-pointer for this one. As Kareem, you're launching into 2024 finally. You're at 8 now, man. Because honestly, that's a 3-pointer. Why people do not understand this, that we do not leak, we do not talk, and a lot of the bullshit that's talked about the Raptors is bullshit. Exactly that. Jill's saying, no, it was G regarding Stargate because he apologized for cutting him yesterday. Yeah, there was a couple of different things happening, but I went in to see the block list, and I saw some names in there I wanted to free. I saw some names that are rightfully in that Alcatraz. And then I saw some other ones I freed. I gave them some clemency and I let them out. We'll see if they circle back and come back around top of top or Shaq Lindsay. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay with his Zach Levine talk. We brought him back. These guys were good at times. They just pissed me off on certain days. Alan Bam, Tamson. He's another one. Yeah, keep voting. Monique, yesterday was a triple vote day, y'all. I hope y'all voted yesterday because it was triple vote. And once again, y'all, the G League All-Star is up for voting also. You can vote for our Raptors 905 players in the G League voting. And you know what? They don't have a 24-hour cycle. You can just go in there and vote and vote and vote and vote and vote and keep voting for 905. So if you really want to have an impact, you could have a real impact on the 905 G League voting by voting over and over again. Over and over again. I don't know how much time you want to put into that. That's maybe why they don't have a time limit on it. Well, if somebody's going to put in the time to vote for G League All-Star over and over again, we'll let them have it. We won't limit them. If they're going to really spend 6 hours just voting over and over again, we'll let them have all those votes. If they're going to put in that much time that they care that much about the G League All-Stars, oh my gosh. Jimmy's saying Scotty's last field goal attempt was at 8:21 in the fourth. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. Both those guys are important guys, and they should be shooting more. I'm completely with everybody who's saying that Siakam and Barnes should have been shooting more by the end of the game. Yep. Stargate saying Chev's video is out, and as usual, spitting fire. It's just pure fire. NBA Chev. Yeah, grown folks business. If it wasn't for people like Lex and Chev, there would be literally no mature positive Raptors talk on YouTube. None. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm not even that mature, but at least it's intelligent to a degree. And Chev, yeah, I love Chev so much. And thank God he's out of that pen. You let them out. Clemency for Chev on YouTube. Thank God. Give him that. Get him out of there. Why did you even do that, YouTube? What is this harassment bullshit? Am I harassing somebody on my show right now, cussing and stuff and saying what I say? Are you going to get me for harassment? Come on now. Don't mess with Chev. Let him spit his fire. Mischief saying Jonte Porter is 13 minutes, 10 points despite this loss. We look better. I looked at the schedule. I see multiple 7-game win streaks coming up. Wow, Mischief. I love that prediction. I hope it's right. Jimmy's saying that's bad. I like that should never happen. Yeah, the stuff about those guys not getting shots late. Yeah. Milbester said, I forgot to vote after my 3 ballots. Milbester, you better get back on it. Mischief saying the offspring. Yeah, that's keep them separated. Yeah, I was right. I knew the baseman would know this. Offspring. I said ugly kid Joe, didn't I? It's the offspring. You got to keep them separated. Dun, 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 dun. That's a Q107 song. If I ever heard, you'll be like on the last day of work on Friday, and you'll hear that song come on at like 4:20 on a Friday afternoon on Q107. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go take the truck back to the garage, and I'm gonna go home. Yeah. Keep them separated. Jill saying, Trevor, one day we'll travel to Raptors. Can't wait. Cheers. There you go. Trevor J going to L.A. Milbester saying, Kevin, the Warriors are just beatable now. The league said in the West, don't fear the Golden State Warriors anymore. They've caught up to the Splash Brothers. Well, they're just not a complete team. They're older. Their young guys have been a fail. They had so much invested in Wiseman and Kuminga and Poole, and they've all been failures, all 3 of them in different ways. All 3 of them the new generation for the Warriors failed them. And they have not had continuity into their dynastic era afterwards because all their young guys were idiots, boneheads, dumbasses. And I don't want Kuminga on this team. Somebody's saying we need to trade to get Kuminga on our team. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? He just threw Steve Kerr under the bus publicly. That's stupid. Like, that guy's not doing himself any favors with his career. You know, Steve Kerr said afterwards, he's like, yeah, my whole playing career, I wasn't happy with my playing minutes. So get used to it, buddy. It's like, whatever. It's so crazy. Let's see. Jimmy's saying after Pascal's last make, 641 in the fourth, the only people who shot after that are IQ, Dennis, Chris, and Jakob. No Pascal or Scotty touches, and no RJ either. That's a fail. That's a fail right there, Darko. You need to get the ball. I can see our IQ. Now, Dennis and Chris and Jakob, really? It should have been Dennis. No, it should have been IQ, Scotty, Pascal, and RJ, the 4 names in that list that Jimmy Pope has right there. Ipodicus is saying, light the beam. I'm wondering if this is Kings fan coming in to rub it in our faces. Well, I'll say this to you, Ipodicus. Are you a Spartan? That, you know what? Be proud of your team. You guys played at a high level last night. What fantastic 3-point shooting by you guys. Your cowbells are annoying. Yeah, baby. And also, Demotis is a very, very, very good player. And you should be proud. There you go, Ipodicus. There you go. Are you going to run in here and say Sparta? Let's see. Stargate is saying Arvydas Sabonis is the best passing center I've ever seen. No, his father is. Yeah, that's who you're saying. His father. Yeah, Arvydas, not Demotis. Never mind. When he was playing for the USSR, they were trying to get him into the US for like 15 years. Hence why he only came over at 100 years old. Yeah, this was an interesting, weird situation as far as like, I wish Arvydas Sabonis had showed up on the state side earlier, but this was the Soviet Union and other bullshit that had to do with that in the Cold War. It robbed Arvydas of being like injury free and coming over to the NBA and really showing who he was. It's too bad because he was a really good NBA player after his injuries when he showed up. But if he had been when he was mobile and he was really, really good when he was younger in the NBA, it would have been a whole other history. In some ways, he would have been the first Jokic. Let's just put it that way. He would have been the first Jokic in like the 90s. If Arvydas had been cleared to come here when he could have. That would have been amazing. All right, Ipodicus, let's see what else bullshit you're saying. Y'all will get blown out. Well, give me more context. What are you talking about? Will we get blown out? By who? And when? What? No, we show up to any court. We're not getting blown out. Did we get blown out last night? No, we didn't. And most teams, they had to deal with the Kings the way they were playing last night. They get blown out. But the Raptors didn't. We lost by 5. We came back and we made up the difference and we kept fighting. So you tell me if we get blowed out, Ipodicus, with your Spartan nickname and stuff like you're like a mashup of Apple and like ancient Greek is what you are, Ipodicus. Yeah, Ipodicus. Oh, where art thou, Spartan brother? Yes. What the fuck is that name, Ipodicus? Jillian saying at Jimmy Pope, what should never happen? See, I don't know what that means, Jillian. It's non sequitur. It has no connection to anything from what I just read or anything. So, Jill, please, cue cards, good ones for me. If I read that on a show, it's like, what should never happen? January 6th. That should never happen. How about that? January 6th should never happen. That's what should never happen. Jimmy's saying Pascal or Scotty not attempting a field goal since 7-minute mark in the 4th. Yeah, okay. The context and the answer, Jimmy is answering you. Yeah, that should never happen too. Mo's saying great feature on Sportsnet by Jordy. Yeah, I didn't see it. I watched the NBA feed on League Pass, and they don't show all the internal stuff. But I love Jordy. I'm looking forward to Jordy coaching Team Canada this summer. And it's fun to see Jordy interacting with RJ against him because there's a bond there now as being bronze medal winners and stuff like that. So, yeah, Jordy's awesome. I love him. Jillian saying, Lex, thanks for explaining the Nick Nurse coaching style. Yeah, it's a really huge difference. The difference between Nick and what he was doing last year, his emphasis is his things that he cared about, and the things that Darko cares about are night and day. Absolutely night and day. Yeah, 10:45, all's well. There we go. All right, so I'm still just almost an hour after. Blackhawks saying, keep Siakam and trade anti-Siakam fans. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Neil wants a dunk. Neil gets a dunk. We got Black Spawn and Blackhawk holding it down in the Raptor Free chat this morning, and they're coming correct. That's right. And I hear it. And I'm with it. Wayne's saying Sixers got beat by the Knicks almost by 30 points. Sixers couldn't manage the stifling defense, point guard, and center production overwhelmed Sixers. Knicks still no good after first round of playoffs. Go Indiana. We'll see how it all shakes out. And let's see what our place is and things too. I'm going on this trip in May. And I was like telling my dad, I was like the other day, I was like, I wasn't thinking the Raptors may be playing around May this season just because of how the season's been going, but that may have changed now. And I have no idea. They may be still playing around May 15th. Maybe not. I don't know. In some ways, I'm going on a trip. And if I'm going to be covering the Raptors in the playoffs and I'm in Europe, that could be very weird. The streams could be very weird. My commitment to do a stream every single day will happen no matter where I am on the geography of the earth. And there could be there's going to be some European streams this summer coming up in May. Yeah, I'm going to Europe in May, and I will be doing my show every single day still. I may not be doing a live stream where I interact with you guys, but I will be putting content out on every single day to keep my streak alive. I'm going for 1,000. I'm at almost 900 straight days of doing streams, 900 days straight, and I'm going to go for 1,000. I'm going to let this trip get in the way. No, I'm not. No, I am not. Let's see. Jill saying at Jimmy, I agree. It was a very odd fourth quarter. They should have done a couple of different things with who was getting the ball better. That's for sure. Blackhawk saying, for your information, the first half, hang on, it jumped. Why did it jump right then? I just touched it slightly, and it jumped way ahead. Oh, I see some of our good friends like Country Kong and Pally Pappy are here also still. Okay, I'm on oh man, I hate when it jumps like this. It's so annoying. Okay, actually I read that stuff. Okay, I've read that. Okay, maybe I'm a little further along than I thought. Y'all have got me a cutoff already, right? Okay. All right, here we go. Blackhawks saying, FYI, the first half killed us because we were undisciplined. Darko owns that. Keep your players in line for your defensive style. Yeah, I don't think that we played very good defense, but also how much of that is actually Sacramento just being an exemplary badass offense and just clicking? I mean, it's tough to say which is which. Most saying, nice to see positive vibes on the feed, even after a loss. I can't remember the last time that happened. Laugh out loud. Yeah, honestly, I think even like casual Raptors fans and toxic Raptors Nation is not that upset about the game last night. I'm sure they're upset about some of the things like the Siakam and Barnes not getting shots late in the game like we're talking about right now. But for overall, I think they're pretty impressed with the comeback and almost barely not winning. OG's doing well. Okay. Kevin's saying Knicks can still get a star player with their picks. Team's going to be looking pretty good after that. I don't know. There's keep saying that they're going to do another move still, but I don't know. I would be like us and do want a fact finding mission. Do you really need more moves, Milbester? Do you feel good about your team right now, or do you think you're going to make more moves? I think you may. I think that the writing's on the wall in some ways with Randall. Like that's what they're saying. Randall switched from CAA. Well, that's kind of a bad sign if you have a future in New York. That if you're switching away from CAA, doesn't that kind of signify that you're leaving? Like in some ways, we can telegraph all of the New York front office moves now by CAA moves. They're going to tell us, oh, OG signed with CAA last year. Okay, he's going to be a Knick. Oh, Randall left CAA. Well, he's going to be leaving. So I'll bet you the next person that gets traded from the Knicks will be Julius Randle. I'll bet you. But do the Knicks fans want that? Do they want to continue to see what this addition with OG just showing up just now looks like just for a little while and see if it's good? It's a similar thing in some ways to us and Siakam, Randall, and the New York Knicks. It's a similar thing. Bill Bester's answering it right here. We have a lot of picks, and they're planning to make another trade before the deadline. They aren't finished yet. So he says they are going to make another deal. It'll probably be Randall. There you go. Kevin's saying, what do you think about Pascal saying he won't sign with other teams? OJ never did that. At the end of the day, NBA is a business. He did not do that. This is the thing. People will hear that rumor and they'll believe that was true. And that wasn't never true. That was bullshit that was put out there. Somebody put that out there that was being untruthful, putting words in Siakam's mouth. Because when they circled back and asked Siakam about it, he said, I never said that. And see, you still think that. Like a lot of other people think that Siakam actually said that he would not re-sign with other teams when that came out last summer. That was bullshit the whole time. When they asked Siakam about saying that, he said, I never said that. I don't know where that came from. So he never actually said that. In some ways, there's a lot of manipulation with perception and people making shit up in the press that really is damaging and causing different issues. And we can't just clog up all the springs and the leaks all over the place. You'd be doing it all the time. So in some ways, these guys' attitudes is like, we can't fight it. Just let people believe whatever, even though it's bullshit. Now, if you come back and you ask me, I'll tell you what I feel. And say, I never, ever said that. I never said I wouldn't re-sign with other teams. Somebody made that up and put it in the press and people bought it, is what it is. I bought it too, but it wasn't until later around media day is when he said it. He said it around media day in his interview. In fact, it may be on the media day interview with Siakam when he was trying to say he's not selfish. I think that's when he said it. He said, I don't know where that report came from. I never, ever said I would not resign with another team if I get sent to them. So it's bullshit, Kevin. I fell for it too. He said it himself that he never said that. Pally Poppy saying if Sacramento didn't shoot 12,000% from three with some of the most ridiculous shots I've ever seen, we win the game. I agree. I agree. Pally Poppy saying refs put 2 fouls on Jakob in the first 5 minutes to let Sabonis go to work. I didn't notice that, but that may have been something they did. I could see that. Wayne saying, let's not get too crazy about Scotty and Pascal being defensive juggernauts. They will get into foul trouble with which it affects their offense. Can't expect them to jeopardize our offensive options. Well, we need them to play very solid defense. And they do. They do. I think what they're doing is the right balance already. I don't think that it's like that they're doing any much different since OG left. It's just that they're going to be more in the spotlight because OG's not kind of taking up the whole I'm the best defensive player on this team kind of thing. We're going to start seeing like, wow, Siakam and Barnes are more like OG than we thought in OG's absence. Country Con saying, good morning, Raptors Freaks. Lex, the fourth quarter was exciting. I thought RJ played great to start, and we went away from him. Hard to get everyone going. There may be too many cooks in our kitchen. Well, we want these cooks in the kitchen because some of them can have a little bit of a night off, and there's nothing wrong with that. In some ways, we don't want to start saying things like we have too many good players on our team. We want as many good players on our team as possible. That's how we won that championship in 2019. So, yeah, I agree. RJ was great early, and I'm mystified why he didn't get to play late. Pally Poppy saying another solid performance from Jonte, even draining threes this time. Yeah, that was good stuff. Most saying, why did the G League voting come out so early? Well, it's not out early. It happens at the same time as the NBA voting because the G League All-Star stuff happens at NBA All-Star weekend. So they have to have the voting at the same time. So it's not early. It's actually, I think they put it out a little late, actually, Mo. Let's see. Kevin saying, I feel more confident with this team in the playoffs if we make it. Me too. Like, I feel like before our team would make dumb mistakes, and maybe it is Precious and Malachi. But now I feel more confident that they're not going to make dumb mistakes, that they're capable and they're playing intelligently. Yeah, this is a huge difference between our team last week and now. Jill saying, we will make the playoffs if we play like Sabonis. Yeah, okay. I like that. Wayne saying in basketball, skilled, versatile players like Scotty have to figure out in real time what the team needs to do in order to win the game. It's not easy, and allowances have to be given for Scott to get it. Yeah, because he's a fill-in. He can fill in anything that we need, and it will change from quarter to quarter, from minute to minute, from game to game. Country Con saying, Lex, I thought Darko held Scotty and RJ out a bit too long at the end, but his substitutions with Jonte and Boucher were timely. We're still a bit disorganized on offense, but the future's bright. I think Country Kong's exactly right on all of this. I get behind everything JP's saying here. I'm going to give him a dunk because I think it's true. I think that in some ways we did not do things exactly right, but the future's bright and we can work these things out. God forbid we're not exactly perfect right off the bat with two completely brand new starters. God forbid. Pally Poppy saying Vivek Jacob is a Stonato. Pass it on. Well, this is what I'll say. He's paid by Ed Rogers III. I said it to him on Twitter. I said, well, do you put this shit out because of who signs your checks? I mean, seriously, that's all I can get to down to the bottom here. If I hear certain bullshit from certain people and they're paid by Rogers Sportsnet, yeah, I immediately start thinking, okay, Ed Rogers, maybe he's trying to kiss up to the guy who signs his checks. And Vivek Jacob is one of those guys. Yeah. And Poppy, Jillian's laughing at you for saying that. Stonato. Yeah. Let's see. The future's so bright. I gotta wear shades. Timbuk 3. Yeah, that's a good one. I got a weird teacher. He wears dark glasses. Things are looking great, and they're only getting better. I'm doing all right, making good grades. My future's so bright. I gotta wear shades. Yeah. Gotta wear shades. Mugabe saying the front office only want to give him 3 years. How is that not disrespectful? For you, you must build a two-time all NBA, most improved, and NBA champion. The only champion leave, and they respect him. They sign him. Once again, contract negotiations that are not publicly known can be only speculated about, and we do not know what the exact thing is that they offered them. And they do not know exactly what made them hang up and say, no, I don't want this right now. I will say this once again. Everything that's been offered to Siakam, he has rejected. And it could be because of how many years. It could be because of how much money. But in some ways, that's internal stuff. It's not for us to know. And hopefully they'll make it work and meet in the middle. That's not disrespectful. That is contract negotiations between a player, his agent, and a front office. And every single time, there's going to be different ways that they work with each other. Asking him to sign a 3-year contract is not disrespectful. Was it disrespectful when we only wanted to give Serge Ibaka a 1-year contract and he said, no, I want a longer contract, I'm going to the Clippers? No, that's just business. And they got to find it and line up to it. You can't say that's disrespectful, Mugabe. That's just business. That's front office wheeling and dealing and negotiations. And that's just part of it. In some ways, we want our front office to do things right for the team. And it's not just about catering completely to Siakam to the detriment of the team. How about that? Jill saying, I got a dunk. Way cool. Thanks, man. No problem. People will find them sometimes. Pally Poppy saying, we need to make a short of Lex teeing off. Please. Somebody who feels like doing that, clip me out and put me on Raptor Spaces about me ranting about what I just said about contracts and always being in a perpetual state of worrying about the next person who's coming up. It's so stupid. I'm so sick of it. All right, Monique is bringing up something very important, and I'm going to give her a dunk for bringing this up because this is something that I wanted to talk about, and I'm glad she has brought it up. So Monique's getting her 4th dunk of the year so far. She's bringing up, though, Teresa and Wayne Embry fellowship applications are now open. This is a great program that the Raptors use to find new people to work in the organization. And I'm unfortunately too old for it. There is an age limit. So you have to be a certain youthful age to come in there and have an internship with the Raptors front office and learn stuff. Some of the people that have done this have found permanent jobs afterwards in the organization. So if you're a young person and you're interested in working for the Raptors, this fellowship application is very strongly recommended for you to get your foot in the door. So yeah, this is a great way to become a part of the Raptors organization. The Teresa and Wayne Embry Foundation scholarship and internship program. So go on down there and get involved. And thank you, Monique, for bringing it up. I would forget. Cool Cat saying, thank you, Lex, for taking the stand on Trade Talk. I appreciate it so much. Just trying to enjoy basketball, not the business of it. Yeah, in some ways, people talk about it way too much in fan spaces on YouTube channels, and they just make people get all in a kerfuffle, in a tizzy about worrying about the next person. Worry about Fred for this. Worry about Pascal for this. Worry about OG for this. When can we just enjoy things? That's all I'm asking. When can fans just enjoy watching the game? Like Cool Cat and I, that's all we want. That's all we want. Jill's saying, Lex, the reason we're talking about this bullshit is because Sherm and the other Raptors anchors don't usually bring it up. This was the panic. You calmed us. Now you riled us up. Sigh. I don't know. I'm sorry, Jillian, if I riled you up. I mean, we do different things here. We got to be realistic. We got to talk about things. It's really kind of understanding what's going on because there is a lot of bullshit out there. It's very, very, very true. Mo's saying from Mike Roach podcast, he doesn't see Gary Trent Jr. with us next season, posted yesterday. I mean, you don't have to be Nostradamus to see this. He's not playing well. In some ways, we got more of the things that we needed for him the last couple of years on our team now all of a sudden. So he's not as necessary. I would say last year, Gary Trent Jr. was essential for us to have success, and he had to be making a shot. Otherwise, the Raptors ain't winning. Nick Nurse was just trying to get people to score, and that's why he made it such a key, important thing to cater to Gary and give him so many minutes, and he looked so good last year, is because really Nick needed him for offensive firepower. Well, in some ways, he's not necessary at this point, and if he doesn't play better, the writing is on the wall, and Mike Roach is right. Mike Roach is right. If he doesn't play better, why would we invest in him going forward? We've got people like Emmanuel Quickley and Dennis Schroder, and we have other people that we could possibly come in new that will do better, more steady three-point work for us than Gary this year. So, yeah, in some ways, it's Gary's destination, and destiny is up to him, and he's got to play better. Wayne's saying, don't care about the Knicks per se, but Milbester is misrepresenting Stephen A. Smith. He's not saying anything we haven't said about OG. Stephen A. Smith's issues are with Dolan. Same with us with Rogers. Critique is against the owners. Okay, yeah, I don't know exactly what Stephen A. Smith is saying. I don't care enough to investigate. I just know that, once again, I'll say this. He's an entertainer. He's not necessarily a journalist or anything else other than an entertainer and a personality. And I'm okay with him. If he has a war with Dolan, he's on the right side of things. Oh, yeah. Jill's saying, sorry, the gray-haired anchor was Sherm. I will ignore his comments next time. Cheers. Brad Fay? Yeah, he's an agent of Ted Rogers. He's a guy sitting right there. First of all, he's a hockey guy. Why the fuck is he the anchor for basketball games? Like I've always thought of Brad Fay as a hockey person. He would be on Sportsnet and talking about hockey or baseball. He's an anchor for their broadcast, their Sportsnet News or Central with Brad Fay. Yeah, come on in. I'm going to talk about all the sports. He's all sports. He's not a specialty in basketball. And in some ways, I'm suspicious of Brad Fay for that. I'd much rather have basketball people in charge, like Danielle Michaud. She's another one. She's not a basketball person. She's just a sports person who does all sports. But her specialty isn't in basketball. You can tell the way she talks. She does not talk like a basketball head first. She talks like a person that grew up loving hockey and does a sports anchor job, and she has to cover basketball because that's her assignment right now. That's the same thing with Brad Fay. This is the problem when you have hockey people covering basketball. And that's the problem right there with both of those people I just named that are on the Rogers telecast. They're hockey people doing basketball shows, and they shouldn't even be involved. They should not be involved. All right, I'm drinking more water. Jill's awesome with that. I love it. 11:30, and I'm at almost 12. I'm going to go overtime today. I don't care. She's saying smash the like button. I love it. Let's see. Monique is saying Mike Roach thinks Gary Trent Jr. wants more money. What leg does he have to stand on with his plantar fasciitis and his shitty ass shooting? You want more money, Gary? Seriously? Man, I know you opted in and that was a gamble, but maybe your gamble didn't pay off. Bet on yourself is what Fred said. Maybe you shouldn't have bet on yourself, or at least play better. That's all I'm saying, Gary. You got to make your shot. You want to start, you got to play better. You want this, you want that, you want a better contract. Well, you got to play better. That's just the pure damn truth of it. That's what Trent Sr. would tell his son. You just got to play better, son. You just got to play better, Junior. And then you'll get what you want. Milbester's saying, Wayne, I get that. But Dolan has nothing to do with how good the team is. We know he's done nothing to make the team relevant in the NBA. And he's hated for how he ran our franchise since 1999. And now he's got a vendetta and a feud with Adam Silver, which is not helpful to y'all's organization. Let's just put it that way. Jill's saying everybody wants more money. Except OG. OG wants the Knicks and British basketball. Yeah, not everybody wants more money. I mean, Chris didn't want more money, and he stayed in Toronto. Who knows what Siakam wants? Siakam's got a really great contract already. If it's the same as the next contract, I don't think he'd be upset if he's still just making $30 million a year. There's no reason why Siakam needs to be kicking it up to like a $50 million a year contract. I don't know. That's the part of the thing that we don't know about. We don't know about the finer details of what the negotiations are, and we shouldn't, because if our front office is any good at what they do, it's all proprietary and quiet and secretive. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. Shooting is this team's strength. It's also its weakness. Darko needs to define roles. Not everyone should be allowed to shoot at any time. Defense is horrid. In the beginning, it was. In the fourth quarter, it was great. I agree. There should be more role definition on who's going to be shooting or taking the shots on offense. Completely agree with that. And the shooting was our weakness, but now in some ways it's a strength as of a week ago. Yeah, defense was horrid early, but not later, Jill. All right, Jam Jose is here. And once again, I appreciate you coming back around, Jam Jose. Once again, no insults or disrespect was intended before and the last times you were hanging out with us. I love you, man, and I'm glad you're back. They were letting Sabonis get away with too many travels. At least 3 times this guy was traveling, but I can see that Sabonis has leveled up offensively. His game is looking a lot more fluid. He was very aggressive, and he didn't give up. He was relentless. Like he would get hit, and he'd just come back up and he'd jam it on us. And yeah, you're right. He was traveling a couple times. They did get him one time, and it was so awesome. I called it straight up. It's like he just traveled, and they called it. But he was doing a little bit of fishy stuff, and they were letting him get away with some stuff. So I agree. Yeah, I saw those travels too. Cowboys saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Bam, good fight by the Raptors. Good to see you, Bradley. Milbester saying, Sabonis is such a perfect fit in Sacramento with Fox. Even if Sabonis was on the Pacers with Halliburton, he has a good point guard to play with in pick and roll plays. Pacers-Kings trade benefited both teams. Yeah, they were comparing their trade to our trade with you guys. That they're two good examples of beneficial trades for both teams involved. Indiana and Sacramento, that trade with Halliburton and Sabonis, beneficial to both teams. Well, the New York and Toronto trade recently, similar in that way. Race Mode saying, somebody tell me that we can keep IQ for the next 4 years. Good game yesterday. I love where the team is going. Trust in Masai and trust in the process. Fuck the toxic fans. There you go, Edmund. Race Mode Daily's going to get a dunk real quick. You know what? We have him on a restricted free agency basis this summer. So it is a high chance that we can retain him. It's about how much we want to invest in him. Now, he said he wanted more than 20 million to the Knicks, and that's part of the reason why they traded him. Well, I would be willing to pay him 20 million or maybe up to 25 million or so. Let's be reasonable. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Once again, this kind of the subject of the day. Let's let all this stuff happen in the right places. Let's just enjoy the games. But if trust in Bobby and Masai, they get things done with IQ at the right time and keep them in a Raptors jersey going forward. Yeah, 11:45, time to make breakfast. Ooh, I love the food in the chat. Without Tom Duke making the food anymore, the kitchen's been empty. And we ain't been seeing food coming into the chat. Like, nobody's doing the ref meals anymore that Tom's gone. And in some ways, that is Tom's thing, and it should be. But seeing food in the chat is making me hungry all of a sudden. It's like there's an egg, there's a bacon, and it looks like there's toast, and there's a yum face with a cup of coffee. And vote for Scotty. Cheers. Jillian, thank you for making me hungry and making me remember my good friend Tom Duke. I miss you, Tommy. Infamous is saying this needs to be called out. Scotty takes defensive plays off. There's a reason why he had the worst plus minus. You know, this is something I was alluding to a month or so ago when I was down on him for his really bad plus minus. He does take plays off. I didn't want to straight up call him out for this, but this is true. Now, is it he's taking plays off, or is it that he's just still a green young player that doesn't have exactly the right acumen to knowing exactly what he's supposed to be doing exactly right at all times? One of the biggest problems here, Infamous, is letting teams get behind him with the backdoor. That was a problem. That's why I was telling him, I said, go watch Tim Duncan and watch the way he used to play team defense, Scotty Barnes, and you will be a better and better team defender if you get Tim Duncan kind of things going for yourself. Because in some ways, he seals things out. He knows where everybody is, and there ain't no backdoor. There ain't no people beating you coming around, and that is true. But some of it is just him learning and becoming more smart and wiser as he gets older as an NBA player and knowing fooled me once, I won't be fooled again. And then some of it is also, I wonder and question if he's actually like having lapses of like engagement in the game for little periods, and then he's missing defensive assignments because of that. But yeah, this is something I've noticed this year, and it's much worse in the old team because it really hurt us bad. It deflated us. But now it's still kind of happening, but in some ways our team's much more capable to cover it up and score more. Jill saying, Lex, you clean up clogs and leaks all the time. That's right. That's what you got to do. You got to fix things all the time. David saying, our broadcasters are losers. I hate all of them. Who the fuck talks about Pascal being traded to the Kings 1 minute before game time? Like, that was their focus. Someone fire these fucking morons. Yeah, that's them actively doing the duties of Ed Rogers III as the Rogers employees, making it convoluted and confusing and crazy. Yeah, Brad Fay, fuck you. Fuck you and your little pieces on Siakam getting traded right before the game. That's what they were doing, David. You're exactly right. They are losers, and I'm totally with you. And I didn't know that. That's part of the reason why I don't watch them. It's because I find that they're annoying and they don't add anything to the experience. I'll listen to the commentators, Alvin, Jack, Matt. Those guys are awesome. I'll listen to the sideline reporters, Kayla and Savannah. But I'm not listening to the pregame show with Brad Fay and Daniel Michaud. I'm not listening to pregame show with Sam Mitchell, Kia Nurse, and Kate Burness. No, I don't give a shit about them. Leo, I do. Leo's awesome. Leo can say whatever the fuck he wants. I'll listen to him. But a lot of those other people in the pregame show, I don't listen to them. I really don't. I'll listen to the postgame people on Raptors Tonight. If it's Paul Jones, Sherman Hamilton, Javon Shepard, those kind of people, I'll listen to them. I'll even listen to Randy Urban before I'll listen to Brad Fay. It's just the way it is. Monique is saying positive vibes only. Keep up the great stream. Always supports you, Lex. Good times. Good times. Let's go, Raptors. Let's keep climbing. Monique, I love you so much. Listen, Mo, just you and me real quick. Isn't this a great time in Raptors history right now? Like, there's so much hope right now. This is like the Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. We have a new hope right now. It's like, I can hear John Williams music starting up in my head, thinking about this hero story that's coming with the Raptors right now. Oh yeah, Mo, what a great time. Pinch yourself. RJ Barrett is a Raptor. It is true. Jill saying, yes, David, totally agree. Our anchors often suck. They do. I miss Rod Black at this point. Rod Black was more cheerful and not so bullshit. In some ways, he was more fun. Rod Black. Yeah, I miss Rod Black at this point. Yeah, can we get Rod Black back in some ways? I mean, geez. Kate Burness is okay. I think she has a good personality. And Kia Nurse is mostly good. I was disappointed with her, what she was saying earlier this week. You know, the TSN crew's better as long as Mitchell's not around. And then Sportsnet crew is not as good. Let's just put it that way. Josh Lewenberg is all right. I don't mind Josh Lewenberg's reporting for TSN, but Grange for Sportsnet, he's so seedy and gross. And then, yeah, Faye and Michaud. Bleh, bleh, bleh. All right, let's see. David's saying the officials are pathetic. I've never seen a more disgusting whistle, I don't think. And our broadcasters, well, they are no better. Useless fucks. David's just angry. He's just angry. I'm going to stand up for the officials. I found they were very good last night. They were right down the line. Curtis Blair has my seal of approval as a good ref. Let's see. Mugarbe saying, so Lex, I hope it is all business when a player asks for a trade and a business walks in the offseason, and it's not all business when it's on the team. Listen, once again, Mugarbe, you can't fill in the blanks on this. We have no idea what the true story is. You're going to say all this stuff, and we may find out years from now in a tell-all book that it really is Siakam's fault that this whole thing's happening this way. We don't know whose fault this is. It's nobody's fault. There's not even a problem. The media is making bullshit up and causing problems and making you think there's a problem. In some ways, what Rogers Sportsnet wants you to think is to mistrust Masai. And it's working. It's making you think that they're disrespecting Siakam and making you get mad at the front office. That's their whole goal. They want you to be mad at the front office. So it's up to you if you want to take that worm on that hook and get hook, line, and sinker by them and fooling you like that. Cowboys saying, true, David. And David saying, anyway, I'm happy with the team, loving all of it. He's like, I'm loving all of it. But then he's like so angry in the other ones. I just think the media, both Canadian American broadcasters and officials, are pieces of shit and should rot in hell. Wow, mince words there, David. You know what? You're so abrasive. I love it. I love it. David, you're getting a dunk. You're getting a dunk. This is David's third dunk for the year. And yeah, it's just because he's just a true voice. And I love it. I love it. The Cowboys laughing at him. Okay, it's noon. And she's saying it's Saturday. 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 Oh, you're doing Bay City Rollers. I was doing Elton John. But that's fine. That's fine. What is this tissue box? Is that? Oh, that's the voting box. I thought that was like a tissue box. That's a ballot box. That's interesting. I thought you were like, why do you want me to get tissues voting for Scotty? Okay, I get it now. Happy Saturday, fam. See, David is happy. Mischief's giving me the cutoff. And Cowboys saying to Uncle David, tell Peter, I said, what's up? What's up to Uncle Peter and Uncle David? And go Raptors from Jill. I love it. Cowboys got us on blast. Masai, and myself. Let's see. I could do a remix of De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I. I'll do Mo, Myself, and Masai. Do, 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 do. It's just Mo, Myself, and I. Do, 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 do. It's just Mo, Myself, and I. Do, 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 do. It's just Mo, Myself, and I. Do, 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 do. Masai. It's just Mo, Myself, and Masai. I wasn't doing that right. That's pretty good, though. De La Soul parody song. Let's see. Cowboys saying, everyone have a blessed and safe Saturday. Yes, thank you, Cowboy. And Jimmy saying, I think these rumors are amplified to hurt our vibes and cause distractions. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, and yes. And Jimmy's exactly right. They're trying to hurt us. They're trying to hurt our front office. They're trying to hurt fan morale. They're trying to hurt Siakam himself by putting him in a cauldron of uncomfortableness and uncertainty. Yes. Yes, and yes. Mischief saying, happy Saturday, David and Bradley and Cowboy and Rabbit Freaks fandom. Yes, Cowboy. And everybody in Mischief, the Mug Brothers across the street at the dog park. That's right. David saying, agreed about Leo. He's legit. Raptors tonight, too. That's right. You too, Mischief. Nice to see you. That's right, y'all. We're going to get that meet and greet and that hangout again. Well, Raptors Freaks will come together again soon in the 2024 year. I want to do this before May. If we can do this in February or March, that would be really good if we could do that. Jimmy's saying, we didn't leak a damn thing with the OG trade, but a million reports about Pascal. A little fishy to me. And just after our two promising wins, I don't know. It just seems. Yeah, it's fishy, Jimmy. You're on the right track. You don't need to be Columbo to put this together. And another thing here. Yeah, you're making up shit to fuck with us, aren't you? Yeah, media. Yeah. Racimo's saying, have a good weekend, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. Going to watch last night's game again right now. Win or lose, our game was fun again. I love this team. There you go, Edmund. I love it. Yeah, it just seems planted. I think Jimmy's exactly right. All right, y'all, let me wrap it up. I'm just a little bit over my time. Not too bad. It's a tough loss. We were down by a lot. We let them score way too many points in the first half. but we scored a lot of points in the second half, and that started to make up for it. A 5-point loss. Raptors, don't hold your head. That Kings team shot the lights out, 55% from three, and Domantas Sabonis got a triple-double and was just fantastic. My 3 stars of the game personally were Jakob Poeltl, Dennis Schroder, and Pascal Siakam. The 3 refs for today's 9:05 game at 6:30 tip-off in College Park, the Raptors 9:05. Beniam Maru is the crew chief. Chelsea Painter is the referee, and Caitlin Versosa is the umpire. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know if I'm going to do Raptors Instagram stories, and I don't think there's anything else. Just check on your Raptors Freak Yahoo fantasy basketball team if you are in our league. A very tough competitive league right now. It's very shaping up pretty good. I wasn't sure how the league was going to do, but it seems like it's going pretty good. Wayne saying, is McDaniels a Darko project like Malachi? Not going to end well. Sulky like Precious. Porter makes us happy. McDaniels is new. Yeah, I don't know. McDaniels got in there for a couple minutes. I think he's fine. I think he's a good pro. I don't have any problem with McDaniels. I don't have any problem with him. All right, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I appreciate everybody for spending their Saturday morning with me for a bit. And if you're watching me later, it's always best to watch my stream at 1.5 speed. It can make the 2+ hours go quicker, and you can get on with Jay. Some people said, no, I don't like to put it on speedy because I'm at work and I'm listening to it, and it gets done in the time, and it helps me fill in my time while I'm working. Either way, listen to me however you want. You may put me on at 2 times speed. I don't know how you understand me at 2 times speed, but go ahead. 1.5 is about the fastest I can go. I listen to all my wrestling podcasts on 1.5. You listen to Mick Foley and Ted DiBiase and Jim Cornette at like 1.5 speed talking wrestling stories, and it's like, wow, they really talk. Yeah, I'm pretty fast too when it's on 1.5 too. Yeah, 9:05 game, 6:30 today. Marquise Noel, Grady Dick, Justice Winslow. Tune in 6:30. I'll be in there in the chat on YouTube. If they have the game on YouTube today, I will be in there so you can talk to me directly during the game. So, all right, y'all, I appreciate y'all. If you feel like joining the channel, membership has its privileges. You can ask Firebolt, came in and joined our group, and now she's a part of our great chat all the time. All right, y'all, I appreciate every one of y'all. Y'all have a great, fantastic Saturday. And as my friend Played Again Sue would say, check out Played Again Sue. Have a joyful day. How about that? Let's go, Raptors!